the Giants' turn to try and answer. And here's Saquon Barkley. And he is off to the races. The 30, the 20. Saquon for 6. Deep to right field. Oh, baby. Put it on the scoreboard. The kid has done it again. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, look who is back. He has returned. It is your boy Lewis, man, back at it. It has been a while on a hiatus, but I am back once again with the Lewis Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Lewis coming back at you once again with another heavy hitter banger with yet another video. Before we get started, you guys know the drill. Salute to the LSF Mod Squad out there and everybody who are new to the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification icon to receive all the latest notifications. Make sure you like the video as you guys come in. And also make sure you guys are sharing this on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. How is everybody doing on this Tuesday evening? We got a lot to talk about, man. First of all, salute to everybody, man. How's everybody going? Hope everything is going well. Today's video, I'm here to give a little bit of congratulations and a little bit of insight as to what's going on. Obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers finished their NBA bubble experimental season by winning the 2020 NBA Finals over the Miami Heat, 4-2. They won 106-93 and captured the franchise's 17th NBA championship, which is tied for the Boston Celtics for the most in history. Shout out to Joel Hayward, first one here. What is good, bro? What's going on? Shout out to my man Jay Jeff in the building. What is good, my brother? What is going on, man? All right, I'm glad everything is good with you, man. I'm glad to be back. Everything has been, I've been like crazy busy, man. I've done little uploads here and there. I've been, just putting things in the community post, excuse me. But yeah, things have just been like really busy. So it's been hard. When I want to put videos, it's just been difficult, man. But anyway, I'm back. It's good to be back. Good to see you guys again. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Brandon Bronco Fanatic, excuse me. Yeah, long time no see, bro. How's everything with you, man? I hope everything is good. Salute to Brandon Nicholson, man. Salute to you, fam. Appreciate you, man. Awesome. Again, shout out to my man Sly, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him as well. That's right. My man Jay Jeff in the building, man. Salute to you, fam. And like I said, Joel Hayward as well, man. Salute to you guys. Man, I mean, this is crazy. I really did want to congratulate the LA Lakers on winning this championship. And I know what people are going to say. You're going to congratulate LeBron. And as you can see, the NBA championship trophy right in the back, right here next to me, to my left as I'm talking. The Lakers have tied the Boston Celtics for the most championships in, NBA history with 17. Anthony Davis and LeBron James get the job done. It's crazy, man. I want to say it. I want to say congratulations. I want to say that this was for Kobe. But I got some news for y'all, man. It's crazy to say. You know why? And it's like I'm just thinking about this because LeBron James, despite what I think about LeBron in terms of how he acts on the court sometimes, he did win his 4th championship. He does have 4 regular season MVPs. Some people will argue that he should have had a 5th. Also, at the same time, he just got his 4th finals MVP in the bubble, defeating the Miami Heat. Ladies and gentlemen, I said this from the outset, that this was tailor-made for the Lakers to win. This was tailor-made for the Lakers to win. And the reason being is because I just said that when you look at the matchups, they don't really have an answer for Anthony Davis, and they don't really have an answer for LeBron James in terms of how you guard them. So as long as you don't have an issue with them, it's going to be tough, man. Shout out to my man, Raphael Wilkes, a.k.a. Kid Glory. It's been a long time, man, since I've seen you, my brother. Hope everything is good with you, man. Hope everything is good, man. Miss you on these live streams. I know you've been busy, so I know everything is going well with you, man. But salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you sharing the video as well. Appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kid Glory, man. Salute to that man, Raphael, man. Salute to him. So, getting back on what I was saying, LeBron James joins rare company. He has 4 Finals MVPs. I mean, think about that. Him and Michael Jordan are the only players that have won more than 3 Finals MVPs in NBA history. They're the only 2 players that have won more than 3 Finals MVPs in NBA history. So we could do the coulda, woulda, shoulda type of game with just about any player in NBA history. But if there's anything that's a fact, that is this. Even though we want to put context into things, this is the bottom line. The bottom line is LeBron James has 4 MVPs in the regular season. He's a 4-time NBA champion, and he's got 4 Finals MVPs. Shout out to the lowly one as well. It's been a while, man. But I'm telling you right now, this does not change my opinion when it comes to GOAT status, when it comes to LeBron James. It does not. It does not. The reason being is because you got to understand something. Do y'all remember when the NBA Finals first started? Salute to Omar Page as well, man. Like I said, I want to say that this is for Kobe. The funny thing is when LeBron won the NBA championship, LA fans were in a frenzy. They went out in the streets by Staples Center. What was the first thing that they chanted? It was Kobe, because you knew this was going to be for him. As soon as Kobe tragically passed away, and again, rest in peace to him and all of the other victims in that crash, along with his daughter Gianna. The thing is that you just knew that it was right to for the Lakers to win the title, because again, storyline wise, how is it going to feel that the chapter feels empty, that there's no story for the fact that Kobe passed away, right? So let me just look in the comments before I keep going, right? All right, man. Oh, that's right. That's right. We know. The Lakers are talented, but it was a propaganda. Oh, you already know, because they're going to say that narratives are going to be pushing here, but no. I'm going to tell y'all some truths right now. Facts. MJ, that's facts. Butler became a superstar in the process. Come on, man. I knew the fix was in as soon as Kobe checked out. Salute to everyone in the chat right now. Shout out to Weiss in the building. Appreciate you coming through. All right. Remember, guys, make sure to like the video and make sure to share on the social media platforms. So getting back to what I was saying, once you knew that Kobe passed away, you knew that this was going to be about the Lakers winning the NBA title. You just already knew. Here's the thing that I got to say about LeBron James, though. Again, what happens? Does this move him up in my all-time greatness? No. LeBron James, to me, is still in the top. He's in the top 10. I just don't have him in the top 5 just yet. The reason being is because as much as LeBron improved his finals record to now 4-6, that still means that he's lost 6 out of 10 NBA finals. He has to improve that finals record in order for me to start to elevate him up there. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I have him in my top 10. Right now, he is currently, originally, I had him at 9th. Right now, I've got LeBron James I got to put him at 6. And the reason being is because those 4 MVPs hold merit. Because the thing is, he was the best player in 4 NBA finals. So I have to put him at 6. LeBron James is 6th on my all-time list right now. He's currently number 6. It's just crazy that if I hate on a player, why do I have him number 6 all time? It doesn't make any sense. I just don't think he's the greatest of all time. And here's the thing. What we also have to understand is the NBA Finals was not as watchable as people make it seem out to be. I know what people were saying that, the bubble brought us some competitive basketball. There was some competitive basketball in the bubble. There was. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, no, we didn't see some good games. We did. But these were like pickup games, for all these teams, not just the Lakers, for all of these basketball teams. This is where I'm going to get on LeBron now. As much as he's won this NBA championship, you notice that the media has not asked him anything about Kobe Bryant ever since they won the title. We're Tuesday. I remember that Rachel Nichols asked about Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis was wearing a pair of Kobe's in Game 5, all gold Kobe Game 5s. And then in Game 6, she asked him about saying that AD was thinking about Kobe. So wait a minute, you tell me that the supremely quote unquote talented network was not thinking about Kobe when this NBA title was won? Because kind of like what Jay was saying, this was not about Kobe Bryant. And I've told people from the outset that Kobe was going to get disrespected when this NBA championship is won. Laker fans are going to give Kobe his respect because they know what he meant to that town. But what I'm talking about is the network that starts with the letter E. They are focused on elevating who? That guy right there next to Anthony Davis, LeBron James. So all the La Media heads that are there, and y'all already know who I'm talking about, you know, they're in such a celebration. So let them have their moment. To the biased LeBron fans, let them have their moment. They got to have this moment. Because this has been a long time coming. Right. So let me just look in the comment section real quick. I was here for just a bit, but I gotta go. I'm gonna watch the Bills for the Titans. Salute to all of you. By the way, I hope the Buffalo Bills win. I got Cole Beasley on my fantasy team, and I'm hoping that he can pull out. I'm trailing my brother in fantasy right now, and I need him to get at least 10 fantasy points to win my matchup. That'll put me at 4-1 in fantasy. I'll be really excited about that going into my matchup next week because I couldn't even start Melvin Gordon on my fantasy team because of what happened with the cases. I was so pissed because those are extra fantasy points that I could have had with Melvin Gordon. Dang. And it's like, dang, this world can be so cruel, you know? And again, salute to everybody. Right. You just knew. I gotta give respect to where respect is due with the Miami Heat. I did not pick them to win the series. I didn't think they were gonna win. But they was able to get 2 games. I have to get on the Lakers a little bit because it's not the fact that Miami's not a tough opponent. It's just the fact that they didn't have a superstar player. And the fact that they were taken to 6 games when I thought that this should have been a sweep. I thought it should have been a sweep, to be honest with you. But this is why I got to get on LeBron a little bit because I don't want to ruin his parade right now. But unfortunately, I have to say something that's going to really hurt. Shout out to you. You were smarter than me. I won't lay when I saw the X's and O's, then Bam and Goran got hurt. I actually thought this series was a sweep. It was a sweep. I just think I honestly thought it was a sweep, to be honest with you, because then when I saw that they won, it was like the adjustments that he could have made. Shout out to Tara Matthews. You know she's a big Kobe fan. She's all about the Lakers. So salute to my sister, Tara. I hope everything is good with you. Brandon, well, I knew Butler wouldn't go out like that, honestly, and I wish the series went to 7. If Rodgers came back to help Butler, and I knew no doubt Miami after the Bucks. Miami was tired. You could clearly see that they were tired. Jimmy Butler played way too many minutes in the last, 4 games. The dude was playing 42 minutes on average. He looked like the thing, we already know that Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, they're not really good defenders. And Tyler Hero is just a rookie, so he has to improve on his defense. But the fact that Jimmy Butler was giving up easy baskets to Rajon Rondo, you just knew that he was just tired. You could just tell. Jay says, will you be updating your top 10 list? LeBron has moved up 4 spots to 6 in less than a month. Well, first of all, shout out to Jay, first of all. And second of all, I actually didn't have LeBron at 10. I actually had him at number 9. But the reason that I have him at number 6 is that even though a lot of other guys have better finals records than LeBron James, the reason I'm having him at number 6 is because he has 4 finals MVPs. Now, we could say context matters when it comes to these MVPs, and it depends on how you grade your all-time list. It's something we shouldn't be doing, but we just do that because, again, you just want to create discussion, even though it's been over and over and over again. I've said this for a long time, and I'm going to keep on saying it. This discussion is never going to end. It is never going to end. It's never going to end. LeBron could, let's say, he could end up with more championships than MJ, and it's still going to be a discussion. Still going to be a discussion. So the reason I have him is that he has 4 Finals MVPs. That's just tough to all the other great players. You look at a Tim Duncan, you look at a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you look at a Magic Johnson, you look at a Larry Bird, you look at a Michael Jordan, you look at a Bill Russell. You know. What is up? All right. Jay says Miami never had a chance, but Miami just don't have enough firepower. For the Lakers plus the Heat, he was going with a 7-man rotation. That's it for the five. Yeah, that's what I said. That I said that once Eric Spoelstra went to 7-man, he should have stuck with a 9-man rotation. That would have been better. It does hurt not having Goran Dragic there, but I think going to 7 guys, you know what's going to happen. Guys are playing way too many minutes, and they're not going to have the stamina or the energy to be able to try to play through that for 48 minutes. That's just difficult, and you're trying to find time to rest key guys, in certain situations to be able to have the energy to come back to go up against the Lakers. It just wasn't going to happen. Just was not going to happen. Yeah. So I got Bron at 6. Those 4 Finals MVPs does something right there. And Lowly One says, and the thing about the discussion is there really isn't a discussion. Yeah, again, the media has created all this. I know after the title was won, like I said, Laker fans went crazy, and I get it. Did you hear what happened after the Lakers won the championship, though? There were 76 arrests after the Lakers won the NBA championship. Laker fans, there were fans in front of Staples Center. 76 people got arrested. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That's nearly 100 people got arrested after they won the championship, and I knew it was going to happen because they were going to go crazy, But again, the first thing that they chanted was Kobe. So my question now is, how much has Laker fans really embraced LeBron? I don't know, because there's going to be Laker fans who said that you're not a true Laker fan if you don't embrace LeBron James. He got them. Some people say that LeBron is good with us now because he got us a championship. People are forgetting that LeBron was right there last year. Some people are making it sound like if LeBron just came to the Lakers and they automatically became champions. Bron was there last year when the Lakers missed the playoffs for a 6th straight season. They're forgetting that part too. You have to include that. So it has to that has to count. Brandon says, I agree with you that Butler over Paul George, especially looking at both of their performances this season. Paul George is the modern day Scottie Pippen. Future video on that. I know Jay Jeff would love to cook on that, and I would love to get him on the show. He could speak on that, and I would say that Paul George is a modern day Scottie Pippen. The only difference between Paul George and Scottie Pippen is Scottie Pippen was a little bit more more mental, a little bit more tough-minded than Paul George was. Because if Scottie Pippen could not score, if he struggled scoring, he could make it up with his intangibles. With Paul George, if he can't score, he lets that waver his defense, which is something that's never happened to Scottie Pippen. So Scottie Pippen's intangibles and being a little bit more tough-minded is better than Paul George. And as a matter of fact, just like Paul George, Scottie Pippen was top 3 in MVP. Top 3 in MVP. Miami really missed Goran. Yep, Duncan Robinson hurt the Heat early on by starting. And Brandon, I will now have Harden and Butler in the same sentence because Butler outplayed Harden when he was in the finals. And Harden choked mega hard, so Butler is tied with James Harden. Personally, I don't think the Lakers are that good, bro. The Lakers just have favorable matchups throughout the playoffs. All right. Okay, facts, says Jay. Hello, don't mind my name, says LBJ the King. At Jay, they really did miss him. Also, Bam was injured and didn't have a good series. Honestly, Game 6, he did do good. Did good, though. Let me just check. LBJ King says, is this LeBron's burner account? Not too sure. Lewis, does this put you as LeBron, the small forward GOAT? I don't care if people think that LeBron is the greatest small forward to ever play. I think he's neck and neck with Larry Bird, honestly. It's your personal opinion. I still give a smidge edge to Larry Bird over LeBron. The things that LeBron has above Larry Bird is LeBron is a superior athletic player than Larry Bird was. I give the IQ edge to Larry Bird in my personal opinion. Not that LeBron doesn't have a high IQ. I just think Bird was slightly better when it came to his IQ. Also, again, the reason I got Larry Bird above LeBron is because he accomplished just about the same things that LeBron did in just about half the time. That's the reason I got Bird above LeBron. But if you want to say LeBron is the greatest small forward ever, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have an issue with that. It's really personal preference, honestly. I'm happy that LeBron. Happy LeBron and the Lakers won. All right. The NBA is just weak overall. The product is trash. Bird, small forward. In my opinion, I do think the Lakers are in the 30 of all time. I don't know what you mean by that comment. You talking, man? The 94 Nuggets would have beaten the Lakers of today. Oh, that team that had LaFonso Ellis, Robert Pack, Dikembe Mutombo, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, what's this dude's name that was on that team? Wasn't Chris Jackson on that team too? Gotcha. All right, LBJ King, gotcha. But Duncan was almost a no-show early on both. Duncan Robinson really put them in the hole. Right. Ever since 2016. Lewis, I always felt that Butler has been better than Paul George, and now after the season, Butler proved that he is better. Until Paul George gets to the NBA Finals, I will never know how much better he can be. As of right now, I got Jimmy Butler over PG-13. Prime Doc with the Nets would cook any small forward, in my opinion. Ooh, okay. I prefer Larry Bird. Okay, facts. I told someone that GMs need to smarten up and break the bank. If these teams want a better chance to compete against LA, they need to build a team big enough to compete. Here's the thing. I got to get on LeBron James about this. Because do you notice that the media has not asked LeBron anything about Kobe Bryant? And you notice that the media heads have all talked about this was supposed to be a dedication season for Kobe, but all they talk about is LeBron James. This is what I've been telling y'all from the beginning. Ever since Kobe passed away, this was going to be because LeBron is a Laker. I've been saying this from the get-go, that once the Lakers win the NBA championship, it's going to be about LeBron. It's not going to be about Kobe Bryant. I said that a long time ago, even before this even happened. I said this a long time ago, that this was going to be about LeBron James winning the NBA title and not about Kobe Bryant. Laker fans outside of Staples Center were chanting Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. I was surprised that I didn't even really hear any like LeBron chants. I'm kind of surprised at that. That to me was a little bit surprising because that's why I asked how much is LeBron really accepted as a Laker, and I don't know yet. I think they've toned down because LeBron has helped deliver them a championship, but I just don't know how much they have been accepting of him. Do you think LeBron has to win another title? Does he have to win multiple titles for him to really be accepted? Because Laker Town is always going to be Kobe Town, and that's something that LeBron is going to have to understand. It's always going to be Kobe Town. And I don't know how much longer LeBron is going to be able to play in the NBA because he is 35 years old and father time catches up with everybody. The great Karl Malone once said it, you may not be able to stop father time, but you can slow it down. And LeBron James is kind of like in that Karl Malone mindset in terms of I may not be able to stop father time, but I can slow it down. That's what LeBron James is doing right now. But again, he's got 4 finals MVP. The thing is, with his 4 regular season MVPs, that holds a lot of weight, and he's got 4 rings. So that's why I had to kind of put him up there. I had to move him up the ranks. But is he better than Larry Bird in my personal opinion? No. I have no problem if you got LeBron over Larry Bird. I really don't. I told you, I feel like that they're neck and neck. And the crazy part is I hate the fact that he gets compared to Jordan because the real argument is LeBron and Larry. When you look at LeBron and Kobe, their careers are familiar. Even though you can say LeBron has probably accomplished a little bit more than what Kobe has in terms of career. LeBron and Magic Johnson, but it's not really more so because the thing is LeBron has a little bit of similarities to Scottie Pippen, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, and Larry Bird. I would compare LeBron to those 4 players than I would ever compare him to Michael Jordan, ever. For me personal, I have LeBron. LBJ King says, and just because I have my name, I do think Michael is the greatest of all time. Just because I am an LBJ fan, I do think Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever play the game. I mean, that's fine too. Here's the thing. Okay, first of all, let me say what Raphael says. He says, as of now, Bird and LeBron are neck and neck, but I still have Bird over LeBron, honestly, because Prime Bird was mega overpowered. Lewis, dude didn't lose, and he led Boston to 40 straight home wins. Sly says, Butler and George been going at it since Chicago versus Indiana days, and I'm a Jimmy fan. PG-13 is more flashy on offense, but Jimmy's got that dog in him. I see. All right. Shout out to Brandon. Yo, my man, Josh the GOAT. It's been a minute, man. What's good? What's good with you, my bro? What's going on, my brother? Salute to you. Appreciate it. Okay, guys. This is where I have to get on LeBron, and I have to get on the NBA. LeBron James, I would love to want to appreciate your greatness, but here's the problem. And again, salute to everybody in the chat. Make sure to like the video as you guys come in, and make sure to share the social media platforms. Did you guys know that the NBA ratings were down in the 6 games of the NBA Finals in 2020? The ratings hit all-time lows in these NBA Finals. And I had to get on LeBron for that. You know why? And I had to get on Adam Silver for that. You know why? Because of the social justice platform that they've created for the NBA. They decided to mix politics with sports during the NBA bubble. And I'm going to be honest about all these NBA players. I don't care who gets mad about this. None of these NBA players are intelligent when it comes to political issues. They're basketball players first and foremost. They should not be speaking on political issues, because politics turned a lot of people off from watching basketball. Those are facts. You want to know how bad, you want to know how bad the ratings were for the NBA Finals? They were terrible. They flopped. And the thing that I was saying about LeBron when it comes to being the greatest, shout out to Corey in the building, shout out to G Money, appreciate you coming through. The reason that I'm saying that they flopped so bad is because you have to understand something. When you're supposed to be the best player in the world and you're supposed to be the greatest player, you got to think about this. Your job is supposed to be to elevate the game of basketball. The reason that I don't get on Michael Jordan as much is when Michael Jordan played, views were up. There were some years when Michael Jordan and the views were not there. They were decent, but they weren't high. But think about this, y'all. Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals. Game 6, just Game 6. That joint drew 35.9 million viewers in one game. 35.9. The Game 6 of the NBA Finals barely drew over 5 million views. Last year's NBA Finals that had a Canadian team in the Toronto Raptors going up against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, that drew more than 18 million viewers. Now, although that's not great, that's 13 million more than what Game 6 drew this year in the bubble for the Lakers and the Miami Heat. And usually I would be doing these basketball games either by myself or when my main man, D, the Godfather Jefferson, when we were doing the bubble. But I was looking at that series, and to be honest, there was really only one good game in that series. Some people were calling me a hater when I congratulated the Lakers by halftime in Game 6. The reason that I sounded the way that I did was because the game was pretty much already over in Game 6, guys. It was already over. I didn't see the Miami Heat coming back. The Miami just looked tired. They were pretty much done. That's the reason why I didn't do the game. Because at that point, it could have just been pretty much all talk. And LBJ the King is LBJ the King, that the Game 7 of 2016 is actually third. It's not second, it's third. That one I think drew 31 or 32 million views. That's actually third. They're third all time. Jordan has the top two. That's 93 in Game 6. That drew more than 32 million views. I think it's 32.6 if I'm not mistaken. And then number 1, 1998. So that's why I said that if you're LeBron James, how can the fact that you're losing your audience through the NBA Finals? No, and 1993, between the Phoenix Suns and the Chicago Bulls, Game 6 of the 93 Finals, that series in Game 6 drew more than 32 million viewers. The Golden State Warriors and the Cavaliers in Game 7 is third all time with 30. I think it's 31 point something. 31 point something. But Michael Jordan has the two top most viewed games in NBA history in the NBA Finals. 1993 Game 6. You know what's so funny about that? 1993 was Jordan's first three-peat. It was the ending of his first three-peat, and 1998 Game 6 was the ending of his second three-peat. Put that into perspective. Think about that. And in both of the in Jordan's third championship and his last championship, which was his sixth, both of those games are the top two most viewed in NBA history for one game. Let that sink in, y'all. Let me look into the comment section real quick, because there were some comments that I missed. They were at an all-time low. And he said, I would be impressed with LeBron if he would have won those 4 championships in Cleveland. The reason I said that, and here's the thing, though. Cleveland did not build a team around LeBron his first 7 years in Cleveland, so I will give him that. But I got to go back on some stuff in terms of the 2007 and then even the 2015 NBA Finals. I got to go back on some of those things. If LeBron wins 1 or more chips, he is undoubtedly better than Larry Bird. Like I said, you can make the case that he is better than Larry Bird. Congratulations. But LeBron, didn't he chicken out? He ran from his responsibilities and joined other teams. That would be way more impressive. LeBron just hops to the hottest team when it benefits him. Salute, Jay. Bird is better than LeBron. Lewis, they were at an all-time low. It's the lowest ratings in modern-day NBA history for the finals. Shout out to my man Ron Cowan. What's good, bro? What's good? Yeah, the 2016 one was actually third. I thought it was second, but it's third. Yeah, the Last Dance. Yep, the ratings of the Last Dance did better than the NBA Finals. That should tell you something. The fact that did better than this, that's why I said that you're a little bit disappointing, and that's why I said that when you look at LeBron as an NBA player, he's undoubtedly one of the greatest of all time. LeBron has had an amazing basketball career, but here's the problem. The problem is LeBron, to me, took a hit in his legacy. You know why? Because of what him and the NBA pushed. People are not gonna like. They're not gonna like what I hear. Okay, G Money says Heat fought, but they didn't have the firepower and the experience to win it all. Miami did have a good run, though. I think experience is a little bit overrated when it comes to some of these NBA Finals trips. You look at the Golden State Warriors in 2015. Most of those guys, that was their first NBA Finals. They were inexperienced, and they had the best record in the league. But they ended up winning the NBA championship. I already know what the thing is going to be. No Kyrie, no Kevin Love, which is why I got to get on those 2015 NBA Finals. I was watching this 2015 NBA Finals, and I saw the series twice today. So I got some stuff on that. Anyway, Raphael says, Josh, really? Yeah. Second then? Okay. All right, let me just keep going. Okay, Raphael says, Gideon, I think Miami can be back in the finals next year if they don't play Durant and Kyrie in Brooklyn in the playoffs. That's one thing, but the thing is that they need a superstar. It's clear that Jimmy needs a right-hand man. If Jordan was on that 2018 Cavaliers team, I bet you that series would have won 7 games with the Warriors. I put my life on it. Ralph, all right. You could argue if Dragic, Bam, and Butler were healthy, we could have Game 7 tonight. I would have to see in the way they play. I can't just guarantee. You can't just put bodies in there and just say that they're going to win like that. You have to see how they play in terms of play style. I would have wondered what Eric Spoelstra would like to do. I know Kelly Olynyk is a liability defensively, but I'm surprised that he didn't play a little bit of him and a little bit more of Miles Leonard, tried to pair him up with Bam Adebayo so that at least with Bam, he can focus on Anthony Davis and Kelly Olynyk or Miles Leonard can stretch the floor. But Eric Spoelstra decided to go with a shorter rotation, so I just don't know how that would have worked out. All right, so, but Bam has to have been healthy, and Hero would have had to have been a lot better. Tyler Hero was coughing that ball up like crazy. Facts, Miami got something good going. They just need to tweak the roster. In my opinion, move Bam Adebayo to the 4 and get a 6'10" to 7-foot center and another scoring option to relieve Butler. Joel Embiid, if they can get a Joel Embiid. Salute, Lewis. It's a good feeling right now for us Laker fans. Salute to you, King G. The Lakers would have folded if it went 7 games. Oh, yeah. It's harder to win with one team and one franchise than to win with 3 different franchises. I agree. You know what? That's actually a good point. You know why? Because you really give the franchise a lot of credibility if you're able to win multiple. Because you look at the Chicago Bulls, they have 6 championships. They went to 6 finals, and they won 6 finals in an 8-year span. In 8 years. They were calling it, excuse me. The crazy part is that I think by 1997, Marv Albert was calling the NBA Finals a seasonal event. That's what he called it. When the Bulls went to their 5th finals in 7 years, Marv Albert, the great Marv Albert, Hall of Fame broadcaster Marv Albert, has said that he felt that the Bulls going to the finals, it felt like a seasonal event. Because the Bulls were just about there almost every year. Oh, we know. Right. They need to tweak their roster. Nah, Gideon. Lakers took it easy and made it look good, then put a hampered team away when fully focused. One day a finals game will have 40 million views. Maybe. We're going to have to see. It's going to depend on who's there. Kawhi and Greek Freak could have hold the Larry O'Brien trophy. I don't know, man. I don't know. What if Miami gets the Greek Freak? That's a good question. Let me just check real quick. That's a good question. Lewis, that's really amazing, honestly. Jordan wasn't from this planet. Even today, people still watch those finals. Dude, I still watch those finals just because how amazing it was. But the thing is that I always look at past finals to pick things up that I didn't pick up before. I'm always doing that. You can't criticize LeBron as much for 2015. Then you would, but not that. Watch where that sounded really confusing. LBJ King, I don't know what you was trying to say there. Let me see. Hold on a second. Blessings. Hey, shout out to Soccer Training Club. Appreciate you, bro. This year it was championship at all costs for LeBron, and the NBA was all in on that. Jay, I don't think Game 7 will happen. I would say 6 at best. Everybody's putting the Nets at the top of the East like KD didn't tear his Achilles. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? Who knows? I say the Warriors would have beat the Cavs with MJ in 6 games. The word is Luka is interested in the Los Angeles Lakers. Thoughts, fake media? Shout out to Alex Sports. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Alex Sports. Appreciate you. How come LeBron won MVP? Statistical numbers. Lewis, what is now your top 3 NBA players? Well, my top 3 NBA players have been Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell. By the way, they're on my Mount Rushmore. And my number 4 is Magic Johnson. Rondo was huge in Game 6 with his playmaking, and KCP made big shots and attacking the rim. Here's the thing with KCP. That's how bad the Miami defense were. KCP was going to the rack. Another reason why LBJ isn't better than Jordan is the fact that when LeBron loses, something is at a record low. Okay, Jay says, I think the Heat can get back to the finals next season. They really don't need a superstar. They just need a guy that can share the responsibilities with Butler, and a healthy Victor Oladipo will do it. That's interesting. Okay, King G says, can y'all stop with the if Miami did this? Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I mean, the thing is they lost. That's the bottom line. I didn't pick them to win. LeBron got lucky. Stop. Lakers won. It's over. Appreciate LeBron like we appreciated Kobe and Jordan. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but respect to him. The thing is, King G, I do want to respect LeBron, but here's the problem. The social justice stuff has pushed away NBA fans. And the thing is, this is the reason why I'm talking about this, because season ticket holders have canceled their tickets due to social justice issues when that should have not been a part of the game. Every time you change teams, it's like a refresh, especially when you have the players you want ready on the next team. That's a good point. But Durant and Kyrie will be fully healthy and rested. I think Brooklyn will surprise a lot of people next year. I got to see what Steve Nash does with the Brooklyn Nets. Danny Green and LeBron James are the third and fourth players to win a ring on 3 different teams. But here's the thing. Are we going to hold Danny Green on the level to a LeBron James, though? That's the problem. Because the reason LeBron's getting all this credit because Danny Green is a role player and LeBron is a superstar. Just like how LeBron made 10 straight finals, Andre Iguodala went to 6 straight finals. But are we going to hold Iguodala on the count of a LeBron James? No, because it's about the superstar. That's the story. That's the thing that they push. So that's the way it is. No need to say Dong and all that stuff. Just say LeBron. That's not bad. Just not bad, man. Just say LeBron. No need to say LeBron. Just say LeBron. I understand what you're saying with the Nets, but nobody knows how Durant's going to be after that injury. That's a big question mark. Plus, we know that Kyrie can put a team on his back. And I'm saying in the NBA right now, what's your top 3 players in the league? Oh, in the NBA. Oh, I see. Top 3 players in the NBA. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard. Those are my top 3. If I put them in order, right now, LeBron is number 1. Right now. The reason being, he's an NBA champion. People are going to think differently. They don't think that LeBron's number 1. That's fine. Right now, LeBron is the best in the world. LeBron is the NBA champion. LeBron has a finals MVP. LeBron is right now on top of the throne. Those are facts. No matter which way you slice it, LeBron is the king of the throne right now. He is because he's the NBA champion and he has a finals MVP. He's the king of the throne right now. He is. So you have to knock LeBron off that throne. Or if he gets knocked off by another team before he goes to the finals, then the guarantee is we have a new NBA champion. But until then, LeBron is the best as of right now. All right, let me just check real quick. Let me just go through facts. The media immediately started putting out the narrative that Bron won a chip on 3 different teams and that he's better than MJ and Magic because of that, despite 4 and 6. I mean, it's gone as far as that Magic is putting LeBron as the greatest. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has already been doing it. The thing is that it's one thing to have an opinion like that, but the thing is that it's almost in a way they're kind of disrespecting their era just for the fact that it's just so convenient that number 1, LeBron James is a Laker, and then number 2, you know that these conversations are going to come up. You just know. AD lost a shot at MVP or co-MVP before Game 5 was over. And Jay is speaking facts because AD only had 15 points in that Game 3. And then even in Game 6, he only had 19. So he had 2 games he scored less than 20 points. Through the first 2 games, AD was looking like the finals MVP. But the problem is, it ain't going to happen. It didn't happen. Well, Durant's going to have to. Josh says the Lakers got carried all season long by the refs and Anthony Davis. Lakers got carried all playoffs long by the refs and AD. I'm not impressed. King G says, Lewis, I'm with you on that, man. The NBA have shot themselves in the foot with the social justice. I'm talking pure basketball, but I completely agree with you. No, this is the thing, though. The reason I'm mentioning that is because as the best player in the game and you just won an NBA championship, you're supposed to be trying to elevate the game. Now Adam Silver has a dilemma. You, along with the puppeteer best player in LeBron James, have pushed social justice, right? Viewership has gone down because of that, and they're still pushing that. The extremely stupefied Peons Network, they're pushing that too, not realizing that they're hurting the viewership too, because now they've even gone political. They've even gone political. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on right now, and here's the thing, King G. I need you to listen to this. What did I tell y'all after LeBron was pushing all of these social justice issues at the forefront of COVID-19? What was that? What did I tell y'all? I told y'all that when LeBron wins the NBA championship, they're not really going to be talking about that. Isn't that what's happening right now? I predicted that. I said that as long as LeBron won a title, they're going to be talking less and less about social justice because Adam Silver came out before Game 5, and he said he kind of realized that social justice really hurt the product. LeBron is supposed to help elevate the product of the NBA, but because of the bubble, because of the fact that he pushed for the bubble to make sure that he guaranteed himself a 4th championship. Also, remember the fact that LeBron got paid, because remember, this is what people need to think about. The collective bargaining agreement is coming up. You know the owners are going to want their money back and then some. So expect player salaries to get cut by a lot. And the thing is, LeBron doesn't have to worry about much because he's going to have his money. The top players in the game, they're going to have their money. What about the other players that need to get paid? This is part of the reason why the series was extended. But I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I saw some good competition in these bubbles, the NBA Finals was not that intriguing to me just because of the fact that I just didn't feel excitement. I was getting people telling me that I was a hater because I congratulated the Lakers. The Miami Heat weren't coming back in that game, in Game 6. The game was over, so there was really nothing for me to talk about. You know what's crazy? Sunday Night Football drew more ratings than Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And the thing is, I was so out of tune with Game 6 between the Lakers and the Heat. I caught myself watching the Seahawks against the Vikings. And that game was pretty good. As a matter of fact, the Vikings lost the game to the Seahawks by 1 point, 27-26. Shout out to my man Adam Thielen, who gave me 29 fantasy points on Sunday Night Football. Salute to him. And salute to Russell Wilson, my MVP. Jay says the social justice is part of why the finals was so low in ratings. The other part is the streaming, because nowadays you don't have to stream live. That's another thing too. That's another point. Also, Raduni, shout out to him. And that's another thing we also have to mention. The lack of star power was missing. People don't understand this. They can hate the Warriors all they want, but the Warriors drew ratings. Steph Curry, he may be small. He may be 6'3". He may not be a LeBron James or a Kevin Durant. But Steph Curry draws people to watch. People don't understand about that. That's what I'm trying to tell. Boogie, I think, is going to get picked up. The question is, are the Lakers going to pick him back up after dropping him? Obviously, KD, Kawhi, Steph Curry. Lewis, I'm ahead. I just had to come and show my support again. I like the stream and shared it on my Twitter. Also, I have to come on a live stream and chop it up with you again. So, yo, of course, kid, man. You're more than welcome, bro. More than welcome. It's good to see you again, my brother, man. And like I said, I'm just glad everything is going good with you, man. Good to see you again in the stream. Appreciate you, man. I know we always having it live, man, and the chats be lit when you be in here. Yo, Ralph, you already know what it is, bro. Bless up as always, man. My top 3, LeBron, KD, and Kawhi. Nice. All right, cool. I'm with you. LeBron being the top until somebody beats LA. LeBron right now is the best in the game. How would you compare this season to the lockout when the San Antonio Spurs won? That's a good question, because the reason being is because the lockout, there was an issue with the collective bargaining agreement. I remember that. Similar to the 2011-2012 season. The people felt that the Spurs kind of took advantage of a lockout season. You kind of wonder how the Spurs would do in 82 games. Had Michael Jordan not retired, had the Bulls not got split up, could they have gone for a 7th title? Now, what would have been difficult for them is, they were an older team, and 2, there were times where they were playing back-to-back games. So that was tough. That was tough. But what would have helped them, though, was they would have gotten at least a chance to rest their bodies and also been able to get into basketball shape. So that would have helped them. But I think what would have hurt them was, that short. The whole social justice nonsense, though, if the Lakers weren't in the playoffs, I wouldn't even watch the NBA because of this whole political nonsense. Which is what makes it sad, because you have the best player in the game, but for some reason you still can't draw. That's a problem. And I don't like the fact that Adam Silver has let the players run this league. I haven't liked it. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I actually like that, LBJ. King, Lakers versus Nets 2020, 2021. They might do another Lakers Clippers. I wouldn't be surprised. The only way KD stays in anybody's top three is if the KD injury didn't happen or wasn't a full rip, tear, or Achilles. That would be a thriller. Mine is LeBron, Kawhi, Durant, Curry currently. Do you see games and fans next year? Maybe, but at a minimum. I just think that a lot of fans are turned off by the product, and you're going to see more fans at home. It's called insecure. He needs to see everyone to call him the GOAT. Oh, wow. You have Magic, Kareem, and MJ ahead of LeBron James. If the fans come back, do you see the games being played all day, or do we have to wait later at night? I prefer games all day so that everybody can watch. It's not that simple, G Money. It's not that simple. I've never seen a LeBron fan not put him to 2. King G says, to be honest, though, I'm used to it because I'm a big movie and comic book fan, and it's the same thing happening in that area, as well as the whole people of color, nonsense, and orange man banners. I mean, I understand, King G. You know, you're used to it. I'm just saying other people who don't follow the social justice stuff, they're not. So, Lakers never trailed in Game 6, and well, but G Money, but it's like I said before, they were tired. They were tired. They could move the ball as much as they want. They couldn't stop the Lakers on the defensive end. They were tired. They were tired. It was. I knew that the game was over by the half. They were to be an unbiased LeBron, but I'm really fine when someone has them at number 2. Hey, if you're unbiased, you're unbiased. I appreciate it. Adam Silver is the reason for pushing all of that social justice stuff, because Adam Silver has gone all out to make the NBA a woke league, and it pushes all the agendas. That's facts. But like I said, who was the biggest talking point of all that too? LeBron James. Adam Silver and LeBron James. Adam Silver and the NBA. First of all, a conservative by the name of Megyn Kelly, she ripped apart Mark Cuban when it came to this political woke stuff. And when she talked about how the ratings have been so depressing at an all-time low, and that the fans are really tuning off of NBA Finals games, that LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the second biggest market, or the biggest market arguably in all of basketball in Los Angeles, were not watching games because the viewership was down. Mark Cuban says we had the fans that we need. Mark Cuban, I know you don't believe that coming out of your mouth. I know he doesn't even believe in what he has said. Megyn Kelly ripped him apart. And she was 100% right in what she said, too. Honestly, the only one I was even in and out of these finals was because Miami was playing. If Boston would have beaten Miami and went to the finals, I would have not have watched. Listen, Boston would have not beaten the Lakers neither. I'm sorry. 2007 rating was down and Bron was in it. Bron is just not that box office. Ratings are down because of Bron. Yet, like I said, there's no disrespect to LeBron. LeBron has been in some high-rated NBA Finals games, but they're just games. When you look at a series, though, like that's just mind-boggling. The fact that LeBron James, in all 6 NBA Finals games, they drew all-time lows. Game 4, ratings were down by 70%. 70%. Game 5, 67% from the year prior. That's a huge percentage. The best player in the game is supposed to be drawing viewers, and the fact that more was declining, only a slight bump, and then it goes back down again. Yeah, that's an issue, man. Oh no, you're talking about that one game. I'm just saying, man. You're saying from that one game, LBJ King. Kawhi fell off my top 3 after blowing that 3-1 lead. Hopefully he rectifies himself next season. Listen, man, Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to get on Kawhi Leonard right now. All this talk about you being the king of LA. This is Kawhi's town. Paul George says this is a championship season and y'all blow a 3-1 lead with Doc Rivers. I'm sorry. Joseph Bailey, what's good, bro? What's up with you, man? Appreciate you coming through. MJ cut his finger with a cigar cutter, man. Saw a picture. I saw that. Yeah, that one was a hit. That one was a hit. All right, salute to you, LBJ Game. Appreciate you being here. I don't never seen dudes talk about I'm going to Foot Locker to cop the new LeBrons. Oh, did you see those LeBron 8 South Beaches? Yo, those LeBron 14s, yo, those things look. Like I said, my favorite LeBron sneakers of all time, to be honest with you, his Zoom Soldiers, the LeBron 3s, and the Zoom Generations. Those are my top 3 favorite LeBron shoes. All his other shoes I don't like. I've been a true Lakers fan since 77, but this championship didn't feel the same. Short season coat, yeah. Yep. I appreciate you, LBJ King. I didn't watch the playoffs this year, and I'm not watching NBA next year either, most likely. I ain't got no problem with that, Josh. I ain't got no problem with that. The Lakers were given this championship from the start of the season. That's facts. That's facts. Jordan hasn't touched a basketball in a long time, and his shoes are still outselling KD and Bronze combined. They must have put some kind of magic powder in those damn Jordans, man, because you got LeBron fans still buying them things and wearing Jordan kicks and still saying LeBron is the GOAT. Let that sink in. No, it's cool, LBJ King. It doesn't matter where you have LeBron. The fact that you have an unbiased opinion, I appreciate that. You can have LeBron as your all-time favorite player as number one. I don't care. But the fact that you're unbiased, I'm cool with that. That shows me that even as a LeBron fan, you can be objective, and that I appreciate, because those are healthy conversations I can have, with somebody like you, LBJ King. You have him at number 4 all time. That's fine. You have him as a top 5 player. That's cool. I don't got a problem with that. I don't. It's when people start pushing agendas, when people don't want to come with the facts, when they omit facts about their favorite player, LBJ. That's what I got a problem with. Everybody's not perfect, man. But all right, appreciate you, LBJ King. See you later. Michael Jordan is the ultimate NBA cash cow. They don't understand. Jordan globalized the game. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they saved the NBA, and Jordan made it global. There are unknown people around this world that can tell you who Michael Jordan is or have heard of him. LeBron James is an American icon. This championship that LeBron just won is supposed to help Nike market LeBron outside of the US. Who makes Nike their shoes? Take a guess. Starts with a C. I call them CC. And the first C, y'all already know what the first C stands for. And I'm not going to keep it that. Yeah, Mark Cuban is a weird dude, man. The truth is, Adam Silver doesn't have the balls to tell LeBron no. That's the difference between the previous commissioner, is that he had the balls to tell LeBron to shut up. King G, truer words could have never been spoken, but you just literally hit the nail on the head, spoke facts. All right, salute, man. Peace out. Exactly. I only watched the first half of Game 6. I knew Miami wasn't coming back. All right, peace, LBJ King. Brandon says, I seriously doubted none of these teams were beating LA this season, not even the Clippers. Ladies and gentlemen, didn't I say from the beginning of this season that I felt like the title was coming to the Western Conference? I said that from the minute that these moves were being made to the West. Even if the Clippers didn't get it done, Kawhi got Paul George, Anthony Davis is with LeBron. I felt that the title was coming to the Western Conference. I said that. I said, I don't care who comes out of the East. The title is coming back to the Western Conference. I said that. And I was right. Since the year of 2000, ladies and gentlemen, the West has won 15 out of 20 championships. 15 out of 20. People are also tired of the league rigging games in order to have Bron win. People are just tired of the league shoving LeBron down our throats when we know he's overrated. People need to understand something. They're getting mad about the Golden State Warriors, but let's face it. Dynasty makes the NBA money. Boston, the Lakers of Magic Johnson and Kareem, the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Just look at the Miami Heat right now. I mean, not right now, excuse me, when they went to 4 straight NBA Finals. I would love to give LeBron James 8 straight finals credit. The problem is he went to 2 different teams to keep that streak alive. Let's be really honest. On both the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference, LeBron had the most talented team for like about 7 years before trading those players in the 2018 trade deadline. Before that, LeBron has been on some of the most talented teams in the NBA. I'm sorry. People kill people over a pair of Jordans because of the shoes. Yeah, but the Clippers, I could tell something was wrong with them because they weren't even in basketball shape, man. A lot of things went wrong with them, but I make no excuses. They had a 3-1 lead despite the fact that they had all of these issues going on. You gotta close. You gotta close. You're up 3-1. The King. People were afraid of Stern's power for bailing MJ out of that gambling debt. Then he owned Jordan, and that's why MJ came back a 3rd time. Remember, because oh yeah. G Money, I got something to say to you about that. Luka Doncic was trying to do his own thing too when it comes to trying to hurt people. Luka's not innocent just as much as Marcus Morris. Sorry. I'm not falling for that one. The thing is, what people don't understand is that players hurt each other on both ends of the floor. You cannot be that biased when you really look at what's going on. Both teams try to hurt each other, especially when they know that they have a hard time guarding these players. LeBron doesn't have a pull-up jumper, no consistent mid-range, no post-up game. LeBron's game was never flashy, and he does that same stupid one-handed tomahawk dunk. I felt the Jazz and the Bucks under G-Money. The Jazz really weren't going to do much, man. The Jazz? No. Sorry. The Jazz? No. The Milwaukee Bucks? The Milwaukee Bucks. They underachieved because, like I told you before, and you didn't want to listen, you kept telling me that the Bucks have firepower. But what I told you was Giannis had no jump shot, and Chris Middleton is not your number 2 scorer. And Eric Bledsoe, he plays well when the game is in transition. He does not play well in the half court. I kept telling y'all that. I kept telling you that, G Money, and you didn't want to listen. You kept telling me the Bucks have all this firepower. I said they're going to flame out in the playoffs when they meet the right matchup, and it happened against the Miami Heat. I told y'all from the beginning, I don't care what the Bucks do in the regular season. I said, what do they do in the playoffs? And in the playoffs, Chris Middleton is not even your second best player, and he proved that against the Miami Heat. Giannis Antetokounmpo, build a wall. If he can't beat you from the outside, what good is Giannis Antetokounmpo? Eric Bledsoe, make him play in the half court and he gets exposed. I said all this. I don't care what the Bucks do in the regular season. What do they do in the playoffs? And for the 3rd straight year, they proved me right. Because Eric Bledsoe was playing like this against Terry freaking Rozier. Terry freaking Rozier. You already know my disappointing team was the Clippers. The Rockets fell flat in their face, and I knew they were done when they played the Lakers. I told people, and I told you this also, that the Rockets were not going to go far because of the players that they had on their team. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Mike D'Antoni. That's all you need, and you know they ain't going far. That's it. I said that. This all stems from one thing that people never admit, and that's actual men in the NBA, men who stand their ground, and Adam Silver is the opposite. Oh, yeah, he's a beta. I didn't see your prediction video, but I also said who came out of the West was winning it all too. Yeah. If anybody's putting money on the Jazz, the history should tell you you are wasting your hard-earned money. Oh, yeah. Tell them, Jay. Tell them. Tell them. I started following you this spring. Salute to you, Brandon, for that. I hear the Lakers' cap space is pretty tight. It cringes me when Isaiah Thomas or LeBron because they know he'll say he has. He can't stand Jordan, so he's going to say that. I'm in Paraguay, and back when Jordan was doing his thing with Chicago, people who didn't even follow basketball knew who Jordan and the Bulls were. The Bulls were the Beatles of the 1990s. They were the Beatles of the 1990s. They were really more so the Beatles in Jordan's second three-peat run. Everybody wanted to see Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. Those three guys. It was a freaking rock concert in the second three-peat. This is why I got to ask people a question. How did the Bulls win 6 championships with all those distractions going on inside the locker room, off the court? How did they win 6 championships with all those distractions? Basically put a wall around Giannis and Derek Bledsoe and Middleton to beat you. That's it. Jazz did choke a 3-1 lead, and you could argue was healthy, or Mike Conley's shot goes in Game 7. Maybe they play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. I hate to say it, but the Utah Jazz were not beating the Los Angeles Clippers. Even on the Clippers' worst day, they're not beating the Los Angeles Clippers. The Denver Nuggets, that's a different story because they're more talented than the Jazz. And I'm going to be honest with you, even though they had injuries, they should have never been down 3-1 to the Utah Jazz. Look at the style of play that Utah plays. They always go mostly with a 1-4 set with Donovan Mitchell and always use a pick and roll. Oh yeah, me and Jay kept mentioning it before the playoffs started. I said we don't care what the Bucks do in the regular season. What are they going to do inside the playoffs? Whether it's this bubble or in the playoffs, they proved this once again right. We said that in the beginning. I said that, and that's why I said you gotta. This is why G Money. I tell you, you gotta watch. You gotta know your history with this Bucks team with Giannis Antetokounmpo in these last couple of seasons. The Bucks, this is what I said. The the Bucks, they can get the best record next year. They could get it next year. I don't care about that. What are you going to do in the playoffs? Look at Paul George. Paul George had complained about not having the team to go up against LeBron. But what has Paul George proven in the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 years? That you cannot rely on him in big moments. That's why I said that, to me, Paul George is a slender, modern version of Scottie Pippen. Why? And like I said, I'm going to let Jay cook Scottie Pippen in this one and Paul George. You know why? Because I said this before. Scottie Pippen was more reliable in the first three-peat than he was in the second three-peat. Watch the games. Scottie Pippen was freaking terrible in the three-peat. There were games where he was getting outplayed by Tony Kukoc. There were games where the reason that Scottie Pippen can make up for it is because of his intangibles. His great defensive prowess, being able to make plays, get big rebounds. He can make up for that when he can't score the rock. Paul George, he has a good enough handle to get to the basket, yet this dude settles for step-back threes. It's not basketball. Zeke is my favorite player of all time, but he's a hater of Jordan. Oh, well. I don't care if he hates Jordan. Just admit it. Stop trying to act like a victim, Isaiah. Oh, you know, if I would have known the backlash I would have gotten from what happened in 91, you know, I would have shook their hand. So why did Joe Dumars do it without a problem? Joe Dumars said it was embedded in his head that once you lose, you show respect. Joe Dumars even said it was cool if Isaiah and them were going to walk off, but he said he had to do what he had to do. Joe Dumars, true sportsman. Shows true sportsmanship, true class. I can never disrespect Joe Dumars. And I got a lot of respect for Isaiah Thomas as a basketball player. A lot of respect. If I haven't watched, go watch the Bad Boy Pistons documentary that came out years ago. It was one of the greatest put together documentaries I've ever seen of the Bad Boy Pistons. I love that documentary of the Bad Boy Pistons. I loved it. And I'm actually going to go watch that Bad Boy documentary again after this stream. I'm going to watch it again. Kawhi gets heat, but we should blame Spider Mitchell for choking 3 games in a row. See, here's the thing, though. I agree with you, G Money, but here's the problem. Donovan Mitchell is not having the expectations that Kawhi Leonard has. Now, I agree with you. Donovan Mitchell does deserve to get heat for choking 3 games in a row to a Denver Nuggets team that had to deal with injuries. The problem is Kawhi Leonard, with all the hype that he got after coming off a finals MVP run with the Toronto Raptors, knocking off the Golden State Warriors, that everybody in their mother was like, thank you for knocking out the Warriors. Now we don't have to deal with this joke of a team always ruining the NBA and winning championships because they're the greatest team ever assembled. All of a sudden, Kawhi Leonard goes to the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, F you, you damn bum. Damn, but y'all just thanked him for knocking out the Warriors, and he was a dynasty killer, according to what y'all said. This is why y'all got to wonder, whose fans are whose fans, right? Sounds like a lot of bandwagons, if you ask me. I'm not saying that there are some people who really can't stand Golden State and thank Kawhi for knocking off the Warriors, but just think about it. He was supposed to be with LeBron James. That was supposed to be the report. Remember? But Chris Broussard said the Clippers were out, 99%. I'm amazed he even came up with a number. His sources are Twitter sources, so I'm not going to take Chris Broussard seriously. And what happened? Kawhi Leonard went to the Los Angeles Clippers. He went to the Los Angeles Clippers. And what did the people in the media have to say? They flipped out and couldn't believe it because Kawhi was holding all these NBA teams in a standstill to prevent from making moves. And Kawhi Leonard was trying to recruit other players. Tried to recruit Kevin Durant. LeBron James tried to recruit Kevin Durant. As a matter of fact, I had to mention this. When Cleveland won the 2016 NBA title, David Griffin was trying to find a way to pair up Kevin Durant with LeBron James. There's multiple articles about that. But see, they're not going to talk about that because they're just going to say it wasn't fair that KD went to the team that he lost to, having a 3-1 lead, and would have loved to seen he run it back with Russell Westbrook. Let me be honest about that. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and the Oklahoma City Thunder were never, ever, ever going to win an NBA championship with those two as your best players. And you know why? Because of the style of play. Oklahoma City played pickup basketball, just like this bubble. Pickup basketball. They played street ball in the NBA. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder style of offense. They also did not have three-point shooting. Neither. They were a pretty good defense. They were a very good rebounding team. They had 2 stars, but they couldn't win because they turned the ball over. They failed to show up in big moments. And like I said before, you're playing street ball in the playoffs against a team that plays an actual system in the Golden State Warriors. What do you think was going to happen? Besides, remember, LeBron would have had the advantage over the Golden State Warriors had LeBron James ended up facing Steph Curry in them another year. That would have helped Bron's status tremendously had LeBron got the chance to keep facing them and he kept winning championships. Because then what would his fans say? Oh, LeBron owns the Golden State Warriors. LeBron James is the ultimate warrior. I still remember when he came out with that Ultimate t-shirt, and his excuse was he left his Undertaker shirt at home and his wife forgot to pack it. Real cute, LeBron. Real cute. Real cute. Not falling for that. We know you're trolling, bro. Yeah, they're just stupid, bro. Mike D'Antoni can't win. The Celtics have talent, but like I said, they don't have. There's a lot of comments right here. Jay, I'm sorry about missing your comment to me. You and Lewis probably talked about that wall around Giannis after that 2019 East Finals when Toronto shut him down. That's what gave me the idea about the wall around Giannis. Well, that's what I just said. Celtics PG play, point guard play is an issue for them in the playoffs. Oh, I agree. The young core is coming, though. Hayward isn't a starter or sixth man for them. Hayward, to me, is a seventh to eighth man rotation for the Boston Celtics. He said, but that's just me. Well, he were my surprise team because they were 2 wins away from winning it all without a superstar. You know what? Jay's going to have, you know what? The Last Dance versus the Bad Boys documentary. Which one was better? Future video. Heat were my surprise team because they were 2 wins away from winning it all without a superstar. I don't know what Paul George is going to do. His legacy took a huge hit. You can't argue whether or not he can be a second option. Nope. Paul George proved to me that he is your third best player on a championship team. He's not a reliable number 2. Paul George has shown it 3 of the last 4 seasons. Brandon, the head coach should see what a fan sees, but it is easier being a third person to any situation. Yeah. Mavs nearly pushed the Clips to the limit without Lebron to KP. You know what, G Money? I have to agree with you now. With the way the Clippers played against the Dallas Mavericks, they probably would have been out in the first round. Amazing to me that a Clippers team that thought that they could just show up on talent had a 3-1 lead on the Nuggets when Scottie Pippen at 36 was a 4th option with the Blazers, while Jordan was the best player in the world at 35. It would have been no different if he was playing at 36. You know, when Scottie Pippen got traded to the Portland Trail Blazers, Rasheed Wallace was the number 1 option. And if you don't go to him, you could go to Steve Smith. And then if you don't go to Steve Smith, you go. Those are 3 players already I could think of that I would bring before Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was the 4th option. Yep, G Money. You need to do research, bro. You got a lot to you got a lot to learn, bro. You got a lot to learn. That series should have been a 4-game sweep. Yeah, they're upset that he went to the Warriors. He went to the Warriors because it was guaranteed that they were going to win. KD or LeBron. Shout out to AK41. He says KD or LeBron. Right now, it's LeBron. It's LeBron. A fully healthy Kevin Durant, I would take him over LeBron James. Fully healthy, but he's not healthy right now. LBJ. People got mad at KD for joining a title contender, but I wonder if people would have that same energy if he joined Cleveland, just won the championship. Also remember the reason why Kyrie Irving left. Kyrie Irving got word that Bron was probably going to leave the Cavaliers. Also, they were trying to trade Kyrie Irving for Eric Bledsoe and Paul George to keep LeBron James, and Bron signed off on the trade. See, but this is what the fanboys don't talk about. They leave that part out. That's part of the reason why Kyrie, it wasn't just Kyrie being his own guy. It was because he was supposed to get traded. And when he found out about that, he wanted to get traded. And then there was somebody leaked it that Kyrie Irving asked for a trade. And Kyrie Irving made it even more so to the point that he was going to hold the team hostage and not even play. Now, I think that's a little too far, but, you know. I got you. I do agree it's easier seeing from a third person. This is why I try hard not to be so critical unless it's something painfully obvious. Scottie will never put a team on his back, just like Boy George of today. Oh, wait a minute. But at least Boy George took the Raptors to 7 games in 2016 by himself, unlike Scottie Pippen. I never said Zeke was crazy, Jay. He could like whoever he wants. Celtic needs they need a big man. I heard PG might get traded to the Nets. I don't like it. Why does a college man have issues with comprehension? Read it again. Mavs might have beaten the Nuggets in the second round because they match very well. Wait a minute, I gotta go back to that. Hold on a second. Okay, G Money, real quick. You didn't understand what Jay was trying to tell you, and I think you're not comprehending. What Jay was trying to tell you is that Jay was saying that Zeke was his favorite player. It's just he hated Jordan. You're confusing Zeke with what Jay was saying. Jay said Zeke is his favorite player, but that he was a Jordan hater. And then he said that's crazy, Jay. I don't know what you were trying to say with that. You kind of sound confusing. I don't know what you were trying to say with that. So that sounded kind of confusing because that's what he was trying to say. Oh yeah, Sly. They don't talk about that neither. Braun was trying to trace Kyrie for CP3. Remember CP3, president of the Players Association, and also one of LeBron's best friends, Banana Boat Buddies. You know, the BBB crew. Should I call them the three Bs, B to the third power? I don't know. But they have three Bs, so triple B. Yeah, I don't know. Again, G Money, you got a lot to learn. You got a lot to learn. The reason I say that is because the league knew that the Lakers were better. I just told you, social justice, the lack of NBA revenue, pushed this series farther than it should have. The league revenue pushed this series farther than it should have. Oh yeah, look it up. Look it up. You gotta look it up. Look up. Shout out to Spain 390 CYT. He says, why did LeBron get Finals MVP and not Anthony Davis? The reason that LeBron got Finals MVP is for this reason. LeBron James' statistics were overall better than Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis. Yes. So you got that messed up, G Money. So yeah, to answer Spain's question, it's because AD messed up in games 3 and 6. He had double doubles in those games, but he didn't crack 20 points. He had 15 in game 3 in a loss, and AD had 19 points and 15 rebounds in game 6. That's why. So that's what was going to happen. So he won them because of the numbers. Brandon X Real Life Situation says LBJ is the best player in the world. I'm not going to argue with that. Right now, he is the best. I know there's people going to say LBJ is not the best in the game. He has the championship. He has the Finals MVP. He's the best in the game right now. Sly says the 73-9 record was inflated for the Cavs to look more heroic, but KD joined a team that lost the final and lost their bench. Listen, Richard Jefferson was on record as saying this just a couple of days ago. He said that the 2016 Golden State Warriors are the greatest regular season team of all time. The greatest team of all time, you can argue that. We're talking about 87 Lakers, 83 Sixers, 86 Celtics, 96 Bulls. I would put the 2017 Warriors as a better team than the 2016 Golden State Warriors. Now, imagine if you put 2016 Steph Curry on the 2017 Golden State Warriors. Just imagine. 2016 Steph with 2017 Golden State with Kevin Durant. Of course, the majority will say The Last Dance is a better documentary than The Bad Boys because of Jordan and the drama surrounding Jordan that sells. I hate to admit it, but Jordan was more interesting than Detroit. Let's see. Is LeBron better than Anthony Davis? If we're talking career, LeBron is way better than AD. AD is super talented, super talented. This is tough. I think time will tell if AD becomes better than LeBron. Time will tell. I'm just going to say LeBron for now. But the thing is, we can't dispute the talent that Anthony Davis is. There's a reason why the Lakers got him. And more specifically, Applebee's 2 for 20 that LeBron gave him. Also, Warriors were not a super team until KD went there. It's always LeBron. Politics is hitting owners in the pocket. Also, Lewis, did you see the beer commercial? AD and Butler and LeBron was excluded? No, I didn't see that. Or beer commercial. AD is better than LeBron, so he's the best. KD, Kawhi, AD for me. Oh, no, if you're talking about by career, that's LeBron James. Clearly, he's more accomplished than Anthony Davis at this point of his career. I'm doing a future video, and it's going to be called If MVPs Were Given to the Best Player Instead of the Storyline and the Best Narrative. Instead of the best storyline, the best narrative. This is just about the best player of that season. And we're going to start with the 2000s. So MVPs are the best player in the 2000s, and then I'll do another one with the 2010s. So it should be interesting. I think you guys will like that one. Jay Jefferson says, G Money, AD is more skilled than LeBron, bro. No, Bron is not more skilled than AD. That's not true. Bron is more physical. He's more brute force and strength. Why do you think Anthony Davis does not like to play center? Think about that, G Money. But AD is more skilled than LeBron. AD is more skilled than LeBron. LeBron is a better passer, and that's just about it. Okay, I was looking at this little wallpaper that they have of LeBron James. By the way, just so that I don't sound like a hater, don't look at accomplishments of LBJ. Okay, so let's check this out. So let me just go through this so that they could say to myself, oh, Lewis, what a, you don't know Jack. Here we go. Number 1 overall pick, LeBron. 4-time NBA champion. 4-time finals MVP. 4-time regular season MVP. 16-time All-Star. 3-time NBA All-Star Game MVP. 13 All-NBA first team selections. 2 All-NBA second team selections. 1 All-NBA third team. So he has 16 NBA All-NBA selections. 5 times defensive first team. He made a second team in 2014. 6 NBA defensive selections. Rookie of the year in 2004. Should have been co-rookie of the year with Carmelo Anthony. All rookie first team. Led the league in scoring in 2008. Has a scoring title. Led the league in assists in 2020. 3-time AP Athlete of the Year. 2-time Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year, 2012 and 2016. 2 Olympic gold medals in 2008 and 2012. 2-time Mr. Basketball. Naismith Prep Player of the Year in 03. McDonald's All-American Game MVP. 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. 2-time First Team Parade All-American. 3-time Ohio Mr. Basketball. Need I say more? Oh, I missed one. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award in 2017. Oh, and by the way, USA Male Basketball Male Athlete of the Year. Is that enough for you? Won a championship on 3 different teams? Jay says LeBron is more accomplished. AD possesses more skill set, and that's not even close. Josh says true. Career-wise, LeBron is better, but AD is better skill-wise than LeBron. LeBron is more durable. I was a Warriors fan. Then when the Warriors lost to the Cavs, now I'm a Bucks fan. Rondo won this finals. Also, he won a Celtic ring and a Laker ring. By the way, thank you for mentioning that slide. Let me finish the comments real quick. Okay, I admit AD is more skilled than Bron. Michelob Ultra. This commercial was played during the playoffs. I took it as a statement to LeBron and how owners feel. Stay quiet on politics. I see. AD had a 50-40-90 splits in the NBA Finals. Wow. Damn. Holy crap. AD is the first player to have a 50-40-90 NBA Finals and not get a Finals MVP. The only other player to do that was Penny Hardaway, but that's because his Orlando Magic got swept by the Houston Rockets. But damn, Chauncey Billups and Kevin Durant are the only two players to win Finals MVPs on 50-40-90 splits. They're the only two. AD is the second NBA champion to average 50-40-90 splits in the finals. But he's the only one. He's the only player to win a championship and not get Finals MVP with 50-40-90 splits, and never won Defensive Player of the Year. In my opinion, Anthony Davis was the Defensive Player of the Year over Giannis Antetokounmpo. My personal opinion. The Lakers' defense changed when he arrived there. It's a fact. LeBron James was playing more defense, with him there. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. That's how they got better. Like you can't dispute it, man. Those are just facts. That's how they got better. Spain says, do you play 2K21? I don't have the game. I heard the game was trash. The game was not good. So I don't know. I can't. That's crazy. AD had 50-40-90 splits and he didn't win MVP. He's the only player on a winning team to average 50-40-90 splits and not get Finals MVP. AD was feasting on the court. In the finals, he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. He can clog the paint and block shots. It's not just that, though. He has the ability to go on the perimeter. Now, you're not going to keep him there consistently, but he's a hybrid big. I always call those guys hybrid bigs. The ability to defend the perimeter and stay with perimeter players, along with the fact that they can defend the paint, clog the paint, and also defend one-on-one in the low post. Brandon said, like you said, take AD and Dwight off of LA, it'd be a different team. People don't understand the impact of Dwight Howard. They don't understand that. You get another guy who's one of the best rebounders in NBA history in Dwight Howard. That's facts. Take him off that team, and what is that team? Him and AD. What would people be crying about? That the guys in between Kobe and Anthony Davis, right there, yes, him, he didn't have help. I'm actually not getting the next gen, and the reason being is because, those Xbox Ones, the One X and the PS5s, they're just too expensive for me. I would have to upgrade my TV to get a 4K. They're just not going to do it because they're not going to do that. They got to push LeBron. Okay, the Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. This is tough because I found out that the people who voted for the Defensive Player of the Year and then people who voted for the All-NBA defensive teams, they are two different sets of voters. They're not the same people that vote. So I'm guessing that's why there's controversy in why LeBron James didn't win the 2013 NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I would have to see what LeBron James did that season defensively again, because I said that LeBron could have won it. But I think that there's some things that are actually in Marc Gasol's favor as to why he won the award, but he made second team defense. It was the same thing with Tyson Chandler. Tyson Chandler won Defensive Player of the Year, but he made second team All-NBA defense in the lockout season in 2012. Again, the voting process, there's two different selection committees. I believe the coaches, they are the ones that vote the All-NBA selections for defense. I don't know who votes for the Defensive Player of the Year. I forgot who, but they're not the same. I think that's why there's a lot of controversy as to why LeBron didn't win the award. And also as to why Tyson Chandler won it, but then the second team like Marc Gasol did the next year. So I think that's why. Again, guys, make sure to like the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as you guys come in. Salute to everybody that is in here. Appreciate you guys coming through as always on the Lewis Sports Network. Been a long time, but I'm glad to be back. Appreciate you guys being here. Hold on one second. So, Corey was it guarding a lot of centers that year? Yeah, but the thing is, the thing is though, LeBron James, this whole 1 through 5 gets lost a lot. LeBron James will guard centers in certain possessions. He wouldn't guard them all game. That's why the narrative gets put about LeBron can guard 1 through 5. That's not necessarily true. True, LeBron couldn't guard the centers in the 90s. Gasol earned that MVP because the thing is, as strong and physical as LeBron is, he would actually have to battle for rebounds in the paint. And we know how LeBron gets a lot of his defensive rebounds. It's from the work that the defense does. I think Gasol deserved it because he was guarding the interior and helping out Zevo, preventing dribble penetration. People don't understand how impactful Marc Gasol was defensively to those Memphis Grizzlies. LeBron wouldn't dare to guard Orlando Shaq. Jimmy Butler doesn't match up to all. Let's talk about Orlando Shaq. What about prime David Robinson, Sly? Prime David Robinson. Give me David Robinson from 1993 or 1994, and let's see Bron guard him. Jimmy Butler doesn't match up to LeBron or AD. Well, that's 1 against 2. The grit and the grind Grizz needed another shot creator if they wanted to win it all. They didn't really have a superstar, though. AD, he's not more skilled than LeBron. Stop it. Brandon, have you watched both of them play? AD is more skilled than LeBron. He is. He's more skilled. Yes, he is. Those are facts from when I watched them both play. It's not that LeBron doesn't have skill. AD is more skilled than LeBron. I've seen them both play. That's not hate. Those are facts. Jimmy is really a shooting guard, but his heart and strength is even too much for most small forwards in the game. Listen, man, Jimmy's got heart. Jimmy's got heart. He's got heart. I respect Jimmy Butler. Works really hard. After the loss in the finals, he went to the gym, started working out. That's awesome. Okay, Brandon says, yes, 80s was a defense of a player here. I can't believe they steal it from him. That makes no sense. Okay. Yes, AD, is defensive player here, and they steal it from him. No, I like I said, I think AD was the defensive player of the year over Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's my personal opinion. David Robinson was no joke. I mean, did you see the man's triceps? God damn. David Robinson, I'm telling you, bro. That dude had a 71-point game in 1994. The man led the league in scoring and won the scoring title in 94. This man was an MVP in 95. Prime David Robinson. I'm telling you, man. David Robinson, whew. The Pacers and the Grizzlies 2013 finals would have been low rated. Of course, there's no stars, and they're 2 small market teams. Of course, those ratings would have been low. Those ratings kind of would have been close to what the Spurs and the Cavaliers were in 2007. Jimmy Butler, 6'7", LeBron, yeah. The Admiral was very underrated. Yeah, one of the greatest defensive players of all time. 1992 Defensive Player of the Year was David Robinson. Great defensive player. Great defensive player. And in his prime, had that mid-range jump shot from the elbow by the free throw line. Pretty good post-up player. Athletic 7-footer David Robinson. What couldn't David Robinson do? Well, David Robinson didn't really light up the Knicks. He just played very well. David Robinson was not in the prime of his career anymore. We got lit up by Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan. Tim freaking Duncan. Put respect on Tim Duncan's name. We got lit up by Tim Duncan. David Robinson was kind of more of the Bill Russell for the San Antonio Spurs. We got lit up by Tim freaking Duncan in the NBA Finals. Wow, Soccer Training Club. You witnessed the 75 points or the 71 points? Wow. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Spain says Bam loves his mid-range like David. Okay. G Money says that the Lakers didn't exist or Tim Duncan was healthy in 2000, he could have more rings. That's one of those. Well, Tim Duncan, I think, would have had multiple rings because the Spurs, they would have been obviously they would have ruled the Western Conference for those few years beginning of the 2000s because they ended the millennium and then. Oh, no doubt, Jay. That's cool. No problem. Have to take his dogs out. That's cool. Tim Duncan was owning the Knicks in every facet from the foul line jumper and the bank shot. As a matter of fact, the Spurs won the championship the year you were born, G Money. You know? So this is the thing, man. The media has been going way over the top with this, and it's only been 2 days. And notice how they have not asked LeBron about anything about Kobe Bryant. It's just weird. But it's like I said before. I told you from the beginning that was going to happen. That once they won the title, Lakers fans are going to remember Kobe, but the media was going to disrespect Kobe because they used Kobe's name to push Bron to win a 5th MVP. LeBron was having a historic season for his 17th year. He led the league in assists. But let me ask you a question. That's all great that LeBron led the league in assists, but let me ask you a question. LeBron dominates the ball just about 90% of the time. How come he couldn't lead the league in assists in any of his other 16 years? That makes you think. Did it take Magic Johnson to lead 17 years to lead the league in assists? What about Steve Nash? Did it take him 17 years to lead the league in assists? What about Jason Kidd? Did it take him 17 years to lead the league in assists? Chris Paul, did it take him 17 years to lead the league in assists? Rajon Rondo. You know, LeBron has played 260 playoff games. I believe that's the most playoff games played in NBA history. He passed Derek Fisher in Game 6. Right. But this is why I also have to say this. LeBron may be playing years straight when it comes to the playoffs, but look how much playoff numbers Jordan put up in less than 180 games. Jordan didn't even play 200 playoff games. And look at the numbers he put up. LeBron James has played 61 more, well, not even 61. LeBron James has played 81 more playoff games than Michael Jordan to get the numbers that he's gotten. Again, respect to LeBron for his durability, but they're like, oh, LeBron is better because he's passing this and this. I said, dude, Jordan has accomplished and done so much in very little time. Also, I got to get on Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo better apologize to Ray Allen. You know why Rondo needs to apologize? Because you and Ray Allen had that beef in Boston. You didn't talk to Ray Allen when LeBron and D-Wade recruited Ray Allen out of Boston, right? To go play with LeBron James. And guess what? Ray Allen won a championship with LeBron James. But guess what, Rajon Rondo? You signed with the Boston Celtics. You signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. And guess what? You won an NBA championship with LeBron James. So Rajon Rondo, yeah, salute to him for wearing the Reebok Questions. I love those sneakers. One of the greatest kicks ever made of all time. Shout out to Allen Iverson. Those Reebok questions are some of the dopest kicks I've ever seen. I love the detailing on that shoe. Hits home with me, those Reebok questions. But think about that, y'all. Ray Allen needs to be owed an apology for Rajon Rondo. Ray Allen gets criticized from leaving the Boston Celtics to go join the enemy in Miami, recruited by both LeBron and D Wade. And I remember what LeBron and D Wade said. This is a crucial time for the Miami Heat, and he said this on Twitter that we got to get Ray Allen. And Ray Allen was offered $12 million from Danny Ainge. He took less money. He took a 1-year, $6 million contract. No, he took 2 years for $6 million. He took the same amount of years for half the money. So that's why I gotta ask y'all. Rajon Rondo talking all this crap about Ray Allen, but you won a championship with LeBron James. And like Ray Allen, you were a former Boston Celtic, but guess what? You won a ring with the Lakers. So you won a ring with the rivalry. That is Boston and that is LA. Bird versus Magic. Kobe versus Pierce. That rivalry we're talking about? Think about that. Ray Allen needs to be apologized to by Rajon Rondo. Because you won a championship with LeBron James. And you're a Los Angeles Laker when you were a Boston Celtic. So you can't criticize Ray Allen for being with the Miami Heat if you win the championship with LeBron James as a Los Angeles Laker. Who knew, right? I what I know. Listen, that whole thing about Bron is a pass first player. That's nonsense. That's a narrative. That's a narrative. That LeBron James has 30,000 points. He's about to have 10,000 assists, and he's a pass first player. There's no way you can be a pass first player with those numbers. You're top 10 in assists and points, but you're a fast pass first player. If you're a pass first player, your numbers would be along more lines of a Steve Nash, like an 18,000 something career points or something like that with all those assists. Because you would be giving up more points if you were a pass first player. Again, LeBron dominates the ball pretty much a lot. I don't think he's a fast first player like he says. Nope. That's a narrative. I know that series, I know that those finals were the ratings were low for those finals. Not like crazy low. And it's because like people were like, well, these are two boring teams. Like there's really no exciting players and you don't see exciting basketball. Actually, no. I actually liked the 2005 NBA Finals. Because I got to see the epitome of team basketball. Great defense, great execution on offense. How the game really should be played. It's just boring because of the style of play and the players on the teams. You don't really have charismatic players. That's kind of how it was. Yeah, and we had two great coaches, Larry Brown against Greg Popovich. According to Brown, he's a pass first player, but he needs to stop that nonsense. Jay, he could be just saying that to act like he's doing so amazing and scoring. Oh yeah. I disagree with Bron. You can't average 30 points per game and be a pass first player. Bron can dish the rock, but he can score the ball. Bron is fifth all time in scoring average. The man is averaging slightly over 27 points per game. He's fifth all time in scoring average. You cannot be a pass first player and be fifth all time in scoring average. Bron is in the top 5 in scoring average. But you're a pass first player. This is what I'm talking about. That's why the narrative spin, because a lot of dudes don't like to tell the truth about their boy. Rasheed left Horry wide open. He messed up on his guard assignment, Horry. First of all, if I talk about that play, I still remember that play like yesterday. I can't believe that the man went to go double team Manu Ginobili in the corner. When you know Robert Horry is right there. Robert Horry, listen, good player, but listen, Robert Horry has always been situational, right play, right time. It's not that Robert Horry hasn't hit big threes. He has in his career. He's right. He's been doing it his whole career. But at the same time, if there's anybody who has been put in the situations that he's been put in to make big shots as well, it's been Robert Horry. It was bad defense by the Pistons. It was bad defense by Rashid. He even said it after the game. He said he made a boneheaded play. LeBron is second in assists in the playoffs, 28. Magic has 30. Bad defense by the Pistons right there. They should have switched on Horry. You can't average 27, 28 NBA passers player. LeBron stat pad in game 6 with you up by 30. Why are you trying to get the MVP? Easy. And the lie he told Rachel Nichols, that's just for you guys to talk about. But you've been attacking Michael Jordan in the media for the last 5 seasons. Come on. Seriously? You've been attacking Michael Jordan in the media for the last 5 to 6 seasons. But then Rachel Nichols asked, about the whole GOAT debate, and he said, "Oh, that's not for me. That's for you guys to talk about." Rachel's like, "Oh, we don't talk about that." You make it so obvious. That's the thing with the bias of the media. They make it so obvious. The blind witnesses aren't going to pay attention to it because they call you hating. The media makes it so obvious. So obvious. I mean, forget it. If LeBron wants to get the MVP, if that's what helps him sleep at night, if that's what helps him continue to spin his narratives, whatever. The bottom line is again, all-time great LeBron James, great basketball career, but he cannot be my GOAT because he still has 6 NBA Finals losses. There's a lot of blemishes on those 6 Finals losses that his fans just want to push over, like they don't really count. So they've tried to minuscule the numbers. They've tried to say 3 for 6 is 50% when that's a baseball average or that's a field goal percentage when you make 3 shots and 6 attempts, but 3 and 6 means you went to the finals 9 times and you lost 3. Now it's 4 for 6. You've won 4 out of 10 finals. If we do the reverse, LeBron has Kareem's record backwards. Remember, LeBron was Tom Brady at 3 and 6 when Brady's 6 and 3. Now he's at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar backwards. LeBron's 4 and 6 and Kareem is 6 and 4. LeBron has still lost 60% of his NBA finals. The thing is, LeBron stat padded in a couple of games in those finals when Miami had no chance of winning. That lets you know he was pushing for that MVP. See, LeBron was trying to get regular season MVP and finals MVP to say that LeBron James did at age 35 in his 17th season. Michael Jordan never did that. Michael Jordan never did in his 17th season. He didn't win an MVP in his 17th season. He didn't win finals MVP in his 17th season. That's what this is about. That's the driving force, to continue to push the discussion and push the narrative. As great as LeBron James, Michael Jordan is in another stratosphere. He is. The thing with Michael Jordan is the reason that he likes to clap back is because Michael Jordan is so competitive and he's insecure. Michael Jordan has insecurities. Michael Jordan has insecurities. That's why he's always pushing back. He's not at peace. He's not at peace with himself with the game of basketball. He's competing with himself at this point of his life, and he's around the game way too much. He owns the damn Charlotte Hornets, and he's a terrible freaking owner. Soccer Training Club says, Lewis, in your opinion, how would this Laker team compare to the 2004 Pistons team of Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, and Rip Hamilton? This Laker team going up against the 04 Pistons? Well, they're going to have to deal with their front court. That's something that the Pistons have that Miami did not have. You're talking about Rasheed Wallace in the low post. You're talking about Ben Wallace with his defense in the interior. Now, he's not bigger than Anthony Davis, but again, more physical. And again, Anthony Davis cannot deal with physicality. That's why he doesn't like to play the center position. It only benefits AD to play center when teams go small. But when teams have big lineups, AD doesn't like to play the center position. And if he's forced to play center, it's a problem. Oh, yeah, we know, Josh. Oh, yeah, that's a fact. G Money says, I think AD will resign in LA. I doubt he goes to Chicago. I wonder how much money AD is going to win. So I'm not even know. Josh says, second half. Oh, yeah, Bron is passing Shaq in my top 10, but I will put him higher if he wins one more championship. Currently, I got LeBron at 6. I had him at 8. I first had him at 9. Then I moved him up to 8 about a few months back. I kept saying 9, but I moved him up to 6 because, again, the 4 finals MVPs pushes him up. I know he has a 4-6 finals record, but like I said, the fact that he was the best player on 4 championship teams, something that no other player other than Michael Jordan was, that's got to hold at least some merit. The 2004 Pistons would smash this Lakers team because they would be too physical for Bron and AD. Oh, yeah. LeBron is slick. Since he has the ball all the time and he has to make all the plays, he can make himself look like he wants to look passer, score, triple-double guy so he can create his own narrative. Oh, yeah, we know. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Also, Detroit can clog the paint and dare LA guards to shoot outside jumpers, which they're not great shooters. Yeah, I told you, the Lakers' rhythm is when they get going in the paint, when they're able to penetrate, when they're able to score inside easy, they're hitting their outside shots. When they don't get to score inside, they're more inconsistent and they're laying more bricks. So they're laying a brick house. G Money says, where do you have Kobe in your list? I've already been through this. Kobe's not in my top 10. Kobe I have at 11. And with all due respect to the great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace to him, I told you, from an impactful standpoint in his basketball career, the guys that I have ahead of Kobe Bryant were more impactful than Kobe Bryant was. Kobe Bryant would be on your, if you're making a Mount Rushmore, depending on where you have Kobe, because Kobe's at 11, Kobe would be on the Mount Rushmore 3. He would be on the 3rd Mount Rushmore. That would be for players from 9 to 12. Now, if we're talking top 10 of all time, Kobe Bryant is at 11 on my list. He's like knocking on the top 10. Some people would have him anywhere from 11 to 15. And like I said, that's no disrespect to Kobe because think about it. When we're usually doing top 50 to 100 players, think about this. Kobe is arguably better anywhere from 85 to 89 players in NBA history when we're talking about top 100. And there's been so many great players. So many great players. But once again, the 2004 Detroit Pistons, they had a deep bench. Nobody talks about that. Lindsey Hunter played great defense off the bench. He was on that 2002 Lakers team. Mehmet Okur off the bench can stretch the floor and hit 3. See, these are the things they don't even talk about that 2004 Detroit Pistons team. They were not a high-scoring team because they were defense first. And don't forget Chauncey Billups in the clutch. It's like I said before, Chauncey Billups was actually the first player in NBA history to win a finals MVP, scoring 50, 40, 90 splits. And Chauncey averaged 21 points per game. Kevin Durant was the first one to have to score to have a 50, 40, 90 NBA finals averaging over 30 because KD averaged 35. But Chauncey Billups was the first 20-point scorer in an NBA final series to have 50, 40, 90 split. That doesn't get talked about enough. Soccer Training Club says, oh, yeah. So Jay says Ben Wallace was quick enough to hang with AD in the perimeter, plus they had to switch on AD with Tayshaun. Oh, that's right, Tayshaun Prince. And he will give AD problems because AD has no physicality in this game. That's a 5-game series. And again, Larry Brown, he would have ran circles with his defense with LeBron. Great feedback, Lewis. The reason I brought up the Pistons up was that Miami needs muscle defensively, something AD dislikes. I still have Bron outside of my top 10. Kobe is number 11 on my list too. He had too many epic failures and started immediately after Shaq left the Lakers. I get it. Kobe didn't have the teams that he had, man, but I have to hold that 3-1 against him. I have to. I have to. I know Kobe fans don't like that, but sorry. I like Bill Russell, but Kobe's way more impactful than him. Bill Russell's a great defender, but Kobe was more skilled and versatile. Yeah, but the thing is, you're comparing a center to a guard. That's your big mistake right there, number one. And number two, the Celtics did not win anything until Bill Russell got there. Even if Bill Russell played with a lot of Hall of Fame players, and Bill was not the greatest offensively, he impacted the team rebounding and defensively. And the thing is, they were so impactful that it led the Celtics to win 8 straight championships, and they won 11 titles in 13 seasons. Don't forget that Bill Russell was a player coach as well, the first African-American coach in NBA history. And as a player coach, he won back-to-back championships. So that's why I hold Bill Russell in the highest regard over Kobe Bryant. Even if Bill Russell was in an 8-team league, Kobe Bryant has had more failures than some of the guys in the top 10. That's the reason why I can't have Kobe in the top 10. Kobe's a great player. Great player. I told y'all many times I was a Kobe Bryant fanboy at one point, but I had to really study his career. If you look at those 2004 NBA Finals against the Detroit Pistons, that hurts. If you look at what the 3-1 lead against Phoenix, that hurts. Now, 2007, he's not going to get a pass, but if you look at 2007, Steve Nash, Shawn Marion, and Amari Stoudemire all made the All-Star team in 2007. So Kobe went up against 3 All-Stars, but guess what? I still don't give him an excuse because 2006, there was no Amari Stoudemire, and the Lakers had a 3-1 lead. That's really more so on Phoenix because they should have beat the Lakers easier because they were the better team, but Phoenix does not do well with size. And the Lakers had a 3-1 lead, but Kobe blew that series. It's not all his fault, but the thing is he's the superstar, so he's going to get blamed. That's just the way it is with any great superstar player. Now, LeBron, that's a little bit different. His fans and the media hold him to such a standard that they reward him for losing, and it's never really his fault. Also, the 2008 NBA Finals. Kobe lost in 6 games. Game 6 of that series against the Boston Celtics, the Lakers lost by a record 39 points in a closeout game. 39 points. Kobe was so shook by that defense, the guy was shooting freaking long threes. And when do you see Kobe Bryant taking long threes at the start of a basketball game? That's how tight the Celtics defense was. Now, to be a little bit fair to Kobe, there was no Andrew Bynum and no Trevor Ariza. But despite that, that's why the Boston Celtics 2008 title to me is a little overrated because the Lakers pushed them to 6 games and they didn't have Trevor Ariza, who was one of the better defenders on their team. And they didn't have Andrew Bynum, who could team up with Pau Gasol to go 2-on-2 with Kevin Garnett and Kendrick Perkins. They would have be able to match up better. So Bill Russell was more impactful than Kobe ever was. Bill was averaging over 8 blocks per game in his career, but when he played, it wasn't a stat then. That's the thing. Bill Russell is one of the most impactful players of all time. That's the reason why I don't put Kobe in the top 10. Kobe may be impactful in terms of players that idolized him and played in the NBA. I'm not trying to hate on him because he had guys who idolized him. So Kobe does have an impact on the game of basketball. That's true. When he played and globally. The problem is the guys I have ahead of him were more impactful than Kobe ever was in his 20 years playing in the NBA. That's just facts. Kobe and Magic are tied for the greatest Lakers of all time. Okay. Kobe's Lakers, I think in game 3 or 4, the Lakers had a 20-point lead on the Celtics, and Kobe and the Lakers gave that game away. I give a little blame to Phil Jackson because at one point he sat Kobe so long when that lead started to dissipate. I actually would have gotten on Kobe more if he would have blew that. Lakers did blow the NBA Finals in 08. They did choke a 24-point lead in Game 4. The Lakers would have won 3 games in that series, and who knows, the Celtics probably would have been playing on a 7-game series. He says, Corey says, do you think Bill Russell's stats were inflated due to the era that he played in? Well, remember, the 60s, even though there were 8 teams, it was the fastest paced era in NBA history. And I think if we say Bill Russell's stats are inflated, we also have to say that about Wilt Chamberlain, who, let's face it, has over 72 NBA records. Yeah. Just unbelievable. I mean, it truly is remarkable, what Bill Russell was able to accomplish in his career. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I just wanted to wish a congratulations to KCP, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. They did it for Kobe Bryant. But like I said before, in my opinion, I know in terms of basketball, LeBron is going to try to be up there with the finals MVPs. But I think when it comes to greatest of all time, I think he heard it with the social justice stuff. Because, be honest, LeBron is really dividing the black community. People don't want to be real about that, but I'm sorry. It's happening, man. I'm sorry. It's just, and here's the thing with LeBron. LeBron is trying to be politically woke, and he's trying to be the NBA GOAT. Well, woke and GOAT don't mix. No, Jay, you're right. If there's 8 teams in the NBA, that means it's supposed to be a more level, even playing field. You're absolutely right. It's true. I like Bill, but I don't think he was a top 10 player. Like I said, he may not have been the best offensive player because he only shot 44% of his career, and his offense was predicated off of fast break. But when it comes to changing a team defensively, there's been nobody other than Bill Russell. When you think of the Boston Celtics, Bill Russell's the first name that you should think about. Bill Russell made the Celtics what they are today. Bill Russell made the Boston Celtics what they are today. When you think of Celtic tradition, when you think of Celtic lore, Bill Russell is the first name that you think about. This team wasn't even a winning franchise before Bill Russell got there. Even if he played with Casey Jones, Sam Jones, Tommy Heinsohn, Bob Cousy, John Havlicek, Don Nelson, JoJo White, even if he played with those guys, Paul Silas, even if he played with those guys, take Bill Russell off of that team. Are the Boston Celtics a dynasty? And the answer is simply no. It's no. Damn, man. Let me look at this, man. Well, the G-Money, again, I'm looking at impact. Again, impact. That defense led to 11 championships. That defense that Bill Russell played led to 11 championships. You have to understand something. Bill Russell pretty much let everybody else play their game, and Bill Russell was a leader and the true definition of a team player. That's why I have the utmost respect for Mr. Bill Russell and why he is a top 3 player, because name me a player that won 8 straight titles in an 18 league where the talent pool was level playing out. And this is with no free agency, I know some people think it's going to be different. Bill Russell is a top 10 player. I'm sorry. He is top 10. He is number 3 all time. I don't care what anybody says. When you are the driving force to 11 championship teams, despite the players that you play with, you never heard Bill Russell make excuses. Bill Russell treated everybody fairly, like they were part of the winning culture. That's why Bill is so respected. Bill never put himself above the team. With all those players that the Boston Celtics had, take Bill Russell off of that team. They ain't winning nothing. They ain't winning nothing. Also, Bill Russell won in high school. Bill Russell also won in college when he played for the University of San Francisco. I believe he had a national title there. And Bill Russell won 11 titles in the NBA. Now, George Mikan is known for being the first dynasty with the Minneapolis Lakers, the first real NBA superstar. But think about this, man. A run of excellence, 11 championships in 13 seasons, including 8 straight. 8 at one point, 8 straight NBA championships. 8 straight. If Michael Jordan had not retired, he would have been the modern day Bill Russell in terms of winning consecutive championships. He just would be in a guard's body. That's how dominant the Chicago Bulls were in the 90s. The Bulls in the 90s, what were the Celtics were in the late 50s and 60s when it came to winning championships. Yeah, but you have to understand something, G Money. Red Auerbach was not a Hall of Fame coach at the time that Bill Russell came to that franchise, because Red Auerbach already was coaching the Boston Celtics, and they were not winning until Bill Russell got there. People need to understand something. You do need a great coach to get the best out of a player, but players make coaches as well. That's what people fail to understand. And shout out to Duality Unlimited. Shout out to Pete. Appreciate you being here. You're not going to understand G Money, but it's cool. It's cool. If you don't have Bill in your top 10, I'm not gonna argue with you as to why you don't have Bill in your top 10. The reason I have him in my top 10 is I cannot ignore the impact. Do you think the Celtics are going to have as much historic prestige if Bill Russell is not on that team? The answer is no. The answer is absolutely no. If Bill Russell's not on the Boston Celtics, they're not going to have that kind of prestige. No way. No way. Red Auerbach had a losing record before Bill Russell got there. The thing is, we're talking about what Bill played with, but look at the amount of talent that Red Auerbach got to coach. Also, don't forget that Red Auerbach was general manager of the Celtics at the time that they drafted Larry Bird. So he got himself 3 more rings acquiring more talent. Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson. I do get it, Jay. I just don't think Bill is a top 10 player. He earns my respect, but I'm sorry. He doesn't have the skill set to be a top 10 player, in my opinion. Wait, Duality says, I can understand top 5, but Bill Russell should be on all top 10 lists. You also have to remember something, everybody. A lot of people, especially today's generation, they favor wing players over big men. So guys like Kareem get disrespected, even though I think Kareem is number 2. Guys like Will Chamberlain, who I think is top 10, despite the fact that again, they favor guys like Bird, Magic, LeBron, Kobe. Like I said, I don't think Kobe's a top 10 player, but being that as it may, and then Jordan, they favor those guys over the big men. Why do you think guys like Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon get disrespected? And those are 2 of the greatest to ever do it. And those are two more impactful players that I would put over Kobe. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, give me 1 second. All right. Corey says, do you think Phil is a bit overrated since he had MJ and Pippen and Kobe and Shaq, which increases championships? I've been saying this for the longest, Corey, and I'm glad you asked this because I don't think that Phil is the greatest coach of all time. I know he has 11 rings. I know Phil is a great motivational speaker. Like I said, Phil was about psychological. But in my personal opinion, I would put Pat Riley or Greg Popovich as the greatest coach. You could go with either one. I feel, in my opinion, Pat Riley is the greatest mind in NBA history because Pat Riley coached different teams and adjusted to the style of his players better than any coach, in my personal opinion, other than Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich went from a team that was defense first in San Antonio that couldn't score the rock to adjusting to today's NBA and had a ball movement offense with the San Antonio Spurs. And never did it let players get in the way of what they were trying to do. Those are real coaches, in my opinion. Phil Jackson had Jordan, and he had Scottie Pippen. Did those guys develop? Absolutely. Jordan already had the game. It's just his mental approach had to come back to what it was in college. Like I said, Jordan was offensively superior to just about a lot of players in the league. It's just Jordan had lost his way in terms of the team game. That's what he had to get back playing under Phil Jackson. Duality says, damn, how is Kobe not a top 10 player? I said it already, Duality. I said it, Pete. I said when it comes to impact. Again, Kobe's a great player. Kobe is a great player. Kobe was one of my favorites growing up. Love Kobe to death. But if I'm being real here, Kobe's not a top 10 player. Not in my book. Bill Russell not being a top 10 player is the most disrespectful comment I've ever seen about an NBA player on YouTube. Well, G Money says, I look at skill set, accolades, and overall mindset. Overall mindset. But Bill Russell's overall mindset was to win, and he won 11 championships. And championships, you have to understand something too, though. The accolades that Bill Russell could have gotten, they didn't exist in Bill Russell's time. So that's hard to hold. I know some people want to hold that against him, but you can't say that he didn't have a mindset. Bill Russell won 11 championships. He was there for all 11 of them. Like, how could he not have overall mindset? I think that overall mindset, yeah. And you have to remember something. Do you remember what you talked about with Scottie Pippen when you say that even though he couldn't score, he would make up with the intangibles? Well, Bill Russell kind of does the same thing that Scottie Pippen does. It's just the difference is Bill Russell, number one, is a center. Also, don't forget, Bill Russell was 6'9" when he played the center position. He was undersized for a center. He was not 7 feet. And the guy literally changed the game because he's a great athlete. Bill Russell was a track star. Bill Russell competed in the Olympics. He did the triple jump. I'm sorry. It's the Laker thing. It's the Laker hate thing. Nah, it's got nothing about that. Mr. Russell damn near averaged a triple-double for his career, 8 blocks a game. Yes, Phil is overrated, and Tex Winters was the mastermind with that triangle offense. Oh, yeah, Phil gets a lot of credit for that. I would say Jerry West is the greatest executive of all time. Pat Riley is the coaching and executive discussion as well. I'm just speaking from Riley as a coach. He's done a great job as an executive, but I would go with Jerry West on that one. Shaking my head. Duality says you all change your criteria per player. That is subjective, not objective. Okay. Gideon, 11 championships is lacking skill set, accolades, and overall mindset. I see why you blocked me. Duality, that's not true. That's not true. There were a lot of 7-footers that existed in the 60s. There were actually a lot of 7-footers that existed in the 60s. They just weren't big names because the names that we talked about were Will Chamberlain and Bill Russell. But there were 7-footers that existed in the NBA in the 60s. Take a look at Will Chamberlain's. If you type in Will Chamberlain archive, the YouTube channel that talks about just Will Chamberlain, his basketball career, there were a lot of 7-footers that existed in that time. Bill did win 11 championships, but I'm sorry, he played in a weak era. Bron, Shaq, Duncan, Kobe, and etc. Would have won with those Celtics teams. They were stacked teams. No disrespect to Bill. Yeah, it's just, again, you're not going to know them really by name because they're like, oh, you know, they didn't play anybody special. But when it comes to size, they were playing some big dudes. There were a lot of big dudes. Jay says, I agree with you, Lou. Pat Riley is the GOAT at coach. I still think Pat Riley's the greatest in my personal opinion because, like I said, the man won 4 championships with Showtime with the Los Angeles Lakers. He went from that to coaching Patrick Ewing in the New York Knicks, and they were a defensive first team. So he went from coaching an offensive team that loved to play up and down the floor in the fast break to a team that was all about defense with the New York Knicks, and he adjusted to their style. The man won Coach of the Year in 1993 with the Knicks. We won 60 games. And then with the Miami Heat, he turned them into a 61-win team in 1997 when they got Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning, and he had some of the best defensive teams in New York and Miami. And then he won a championship with those egotistical 2006 Miami Heat that had a young Dwayne Wade as the best player on the team and won Finals MVP. I mean, think about that. Let's see. Exactly, Duality. Bill was a great defender, but I'm sorry. He wasn't skilled enough to be better than Shaq, Duncan, LeBron, Kobe, and etc., in my opinion. Meaning he was playing 7-footers night in and night out. Bill versus Will. Exactly. What people don't understand. First of all, the Knicks, I think they didn't even win 40 games, I think, in 1991. Pat Riley takes over. They sign Xavier McDaniel. You get the rise of Anthony Mason. The Bulls won 51 wins. The very next year, they win 60. They had the #1 seed in just 2 years as Pat Riley being head coach in the Eastern Conference. And they almost knocked the Bulls out in 93. And they took the Bulls to 7 games in 92. Guys, the 1992 NBA playoffs between the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks in 92, one of the greatest playoff series ever. If you watch that series, they have all the games, full games on YouTube. You are in for a treat if you love 90s basketball. If you love 90s basketball, watch that series between the Bulls and the Knicks. God almighty. That series had me on the edge of my seat watching that. People don't understand, man. My bad. The Knicks wasn't that talented, in my opinion, outside of you. No, they weren't. They weren't as talented. No. Y'all be good. Shout out to Pete. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So again, this is your boy Lewis back with another one. Salute to everybody in the chat. Your boy is back. Appreciate you guys being here. I'll be coming out with a couple of more videos coming pretty much in the next couple of days. All right, going to be having some future panels, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I will be emailing you guys if you guys want to come on the panel, but for sure, it's been a long time since I've done this because I honestly have wanted to do this, but I haven't done. Have to do some NBA talk as well, getting ready for the off season coming up, so definitely want to see what teams have to do to pretty much get better. So stay tuned for all that. Got wrestling content coming up as well. Actually, my next wrestling content, I'm going to talk about WrestleMania 21, and I'm going to talk about two matches that were actually my favorites from that time. I want to get somebody who is a wrestling fan to come on, and if they've seen these matches, I'm going to talk about Taker versus Randy Orton, and I'm going to talk about Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. I'll be breaking down those two matches. And I think those are two matches that deserve much more respect, in my personal opinion, in terms of the quality. And these were two inter-promotional matches. Oh, Brandon, so your favorite is WrestleMania 21? Actually, my favorite WrestleMania of all time is actually WrestleMania 17. That's actually my favorite of all time. Especially because it was in the heart of the Attitude Era, and that match card was unbelievable. The match card for WrestleMania 17, in my opinion, none of them arguably don't top the card that was on for WrestleMania 17 that day. But like I said, I'll be looking at Taker versus Orton and Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Two of my favorite matches of all time that doesn't get enough respect. And I'll go over why Shawn and Kurt was a 5-star wrestling match. WrestleMania 21 was underrated. I also love the Money in the Bank as well, but not duality, man. It's cool. It's cool, bro. Like I said, difference of opinions. It's all good. Again, it's a matter about respect. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you see the game in a different way than I see the game. I can respect that. We're not always going to agree on everything, duality. So we're not always going to. There's going to be things that we agree on, and there's things we're going to disagree on. It's always going to be like that. So at the end of the day, it's about respect. But there's some things that you can see. Like when I look at for example, G Money says that Bill Russell's not a top 10 player. I'm not going to argue with him on that. I'm not here to change his mind and say that's his opinion. That's his opinion. So I'm not going to argue with that. What I'm basically saying is that Bill Russell is a top 10 all-time great. I've always had Bill at number 3 because I cannot ignore how a guy, if you look at where the game was when he came into it and where it is now, I can't ignore that. That's 11 rings, man. That's 11 rings. 13 years he won 11 championships. The man won 92% of his NBA finals. And listen, and put this into perspective. Because the media is going to tell you that Bill Russell dominated a weak era. Same thing with Will Chamberlain. But guess what? Bill Russell went to 12 NBA finals. LeBron James has gone to 10. But Bill Russell won 11 and LeBron won 4. But they're going to say Bill Russell was on stacked teams. See, they're going to give Bill the credit that he deserves when it's convenient for them to say that. But when it's compared to another player, for example, a guy like LeBron who's made 10 NBA finals, they're going to be like, Well, LeBron did it in the modern era. Bill Russell didn't have to go up against the greatest team ever assembled in Golden State and stuff like that. That's what they're going to say. So that's what it's going to go. I appreciate your duality. Always came to support the channel. Brandon says, I'm in a WWE Attitude Era mood tonight. Thank you for bringing the WrestleMania 17. I'm telling you, Brandon, you ain't going to regret it. If you watch the matches on that match card, you're going to be like, you're going to start thinking, man, can I possibly put it? I mean, but again, I wouldn't be mad if, like I said, if you like WrestleMania 21 better, it's all good. I'm just saying, me personally, I would put 17 over 21 because I think the quality of the matches and the people in the card were that much better than 21. But 21 was still good. And like I said, this is why I'm giving WrestleMania 21 a bit of respect because it was in Hollywood. Like I said, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. And Taker versus Orton, two of the greatest matches ever that don't get enough respect. Also, you should watch the NWA. That's true. Jay's right about that. Ooh, WCW since 1990. There you go. We definitely got to talk wrestling for sure in the future, man. Well, Duality, you have a really excellent point there. Wait, G-Money, what are you talking about? Okay, I'll revisit that again. But anyway, guys, have a wonderful night. Salute to Jay, salute to Duality, salute to Jay Jeff, salute to G-Money, salute to Brandon, salute to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you, man. Oh, no, Brandon, you know, if you would love to come on the show one of these days, we could definitely talk, definitely talk wrestling for sure, man. Josh, says, I know, Lewis. Did you hear Silver say Braun will probably have an award? When did he say that? He said that? Man, Adam Silver is such a softie, bro. Seriously? All right, sounds great, man. So yeah, definitely we'll hit you up in the near future about that. So definitely, we'll definitely talk. I think it'd make for a great stream. But ladies and gentlemen, man, appreciate you guys for being here. Salute to everybody. Salute to the Mod Squad. Again, guys, like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Congratulations to the Lakers on their 2020 NBA title. Y'all already know me, man. Salute. As my man Ryan always says, we chat together, stream together, family for life. And this is Lewis Sports Network checking out, saying bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. Have a wonderful night. We'll be back on tomorrow. And as I always say, and I'm gone.
In the lead. That's skied out to center field. Towering shot. A.J. Pollock going back. That is gone. Big fly for Mike Trout. 2-0 Angels here in the first. Going back to getting a mistake. Breaking ball. Got it. Trout. Dead center field.
Manning's going to run. He cuts back at the one time to the goal line. Touchdown, Eli Manning.
On second and 4. Manning takes off. He's inside the 5 to the end zone. Dive. Touchdown. Away 1-on-2 behind the back. Splits through. Oh, what a pass to Anderson.
Hardaway, oh, beautiful dish. Grant with the jam.
The elevation now. Michael's had 2 shots blocked tonight. Penny Hardaway goes up, makes the move. He sees Horace coming. Here it is.